This is Guardian Radio, your station for up-to-the-minute news, intelligent, interactive, and engaging conversation. 96.9 FM. The views and opinions of the hosts and guests are their own and do not necessarily reflect the position of the management and staff of Guardian Network.
Good morning. The anti-violence bill tabled in the House. It seeks to address gender-based violence and other violent acts. A coroner's jury deems that the death of a man killed by police is a homicide by manslaughter. And some retailers resume selling diesel, but the government still refuses to budge. It's all straight ahead this morning. I'm Dwight Strachan, and this is Morning Blend.
It's a new day. Wake up, it's a new day. It's the start of a new way. You know that it's here. It's the start of the end of the old way. Wake up, it's a new day. Wake up, it's a new day.
Good morning again, Bahamas. It is Thursday, May 25th, 2023. This is Morning Blend on Guardian Radio 96.9. Again, I'm Dwight Strachan. Laverne Gardner off today. Coming up this morning, we are going to get a preview of this Monday's 50th on Bay Street Festival. All that you need to know about this. And it's our Safe and Sound series. This month we've been looking at hurricane readiness and business continuity. We're doing a special Thursday edition of it today. And later in business, we are talking about 5G technology and why we don't have it here in the Bahamas yet. We're going to talk about it and what you need to know. That's all straight ahead. A lot to get to on this Thursday morning. Let's begin, though, with what's in the overnight, the latest breaking news from while we're sleeping, and the top national and international headlines this morning. In the overnight, the Protection Against Violence Bill 2023 tabled in Parliament. This would provide the protection and support of victims of violence. That bill tabled yesterday. The bill seeks to create a national strategy to prevent and respond to the occurrence of violence and to protect victims of violence, begin a system of information gathering to generate reliable statistics in instances where domestic violence results in death, and allow the country to become compliant with regional and international human rights treaties the Bahamas is a part of. The bill defines violence as any act, sexual, torture, trafficking in persons, kidnapping, online harassment, or financial abuse that occurs within a domestic relationship or is perpetrated by any person in the workplace or elsewhere. Social Services Minister Obi Wilshcombe, who tabled the bill, said debate will begin in July following extensive consultation with the public. Wilshcombe said the Bahamas is beset with a violent subculture and said that Bahamians must accept, quote, that the social cancer is now at our doorsteps. A coroner's jury has deemed the death of Azario Major, who was shot and killed by police in 2021, as homicide by manslaughter. The Director of Public Prosecutions will decide whether to act on the jury's non-binding verdict. Since an inquest is not a trial, its jury cannot decide criminal liability. Major, a 31-year-old, was shot and killed by police outside of Woody's Bar on December 26, 2021, after he allegedly pointed a gun at a group of police officers. Police recovered a 9mm pistol from the passenger seat of Major's vehicle, according to evidence presented shortly before the deadly shooting. The same group of officers had escorted Major from the bar for allegedly behaving in a belligerent manner. While President of the Bahamas Petroleum Retailers Association, Raymond Jones, says that retailers will continue to refuse to sell diesel at their stations until the government addresses their issues, some operators reported yesterday that they have resumed selling diesel. owner of Esso on Wolf Road and Montrose Avenue, George Cartwright, telling reporters after a meeting with the BPRA that they, quote, pulled off this morning mainly because I think our president realized that we have a heart and that today is a big cruise day. The taxi drivers, the tour buses, and everything, most of them operate off diesel, so we took that into consideration, that we have to make sure that those guys are able to service our number one industry. Cartwright said expenses have increased, but he doesn't have the freedom to raise prices in response to those increases because fuel is price controlled. And Prime Minister Philip Davis shooting down an attempt once again by former Prime Minister Dr. Minnis to portray his administration as greedy tax collectors, noting that Minnis's claim that the government has raised real property taxes is incorrect, and pointed out that the real property tax modernization project was started under the Minnis administration. Davis saying in the House of Assembly yesterday, quote, if the truth be told, it was the exercise started by them where they had properties revalued. So if your property was on the books valued at $100 and they revalued it at $200, tax is not going up, but your payment is going to go up because of the revaluation and reassessment. Minnis responded to Davis saying calling him the tax collector in chief, but also saying, quote, it was the plan that once we got the report, the report was supposed to be discussed with the people and with the necessary individuals, the real estate agents. Claimed that has not been done by the current administration. The Court of Appeal reserving its decision on whether a man convicted of unlawful sexual intercourse should be allowed to appeal out of time. Jervin Brown was sentenced to 8 years imprisonment after a jury unanimously convicted him of having sex with a 13-year-old girl. The incident allegedly happened in January 2020, but was reported months later. Brown's lawyer, Philip Hilton, argued that the verdict was unsafe as there was no corroborating evidence. However, when questioned by the appellate judges, Hilton conceded that corroboration was not necessary. Hilton also argued that the sentence imposed was unduly harsh. Deputy Director of Public Prosecution, Stephanie Pintard, so the proposed appeal should be dismissed as it has no prospects of success. Overseas, South Korea. The South Korean and U.S. militaries conducting large live-fire drills near the border with North Korea today, despite the North's warning that it won't tolerate what it calls an invasion rehearsal on its doorstep. The drills, the first of 5 rounds of live-fire exercises through mid-June, mark 70 years since the establishment of the military alliance between Seoul and Washington. North Korea typically reacts to such major South Korean U.S. exercises with missile and other weapons tests. Since the start of 2022, North Korea has test-launched more than 100 missiles, but none since it fired a solid-fuel intercontinental ballistic missile in mid-April. It says the tests are a response to expanded military drills between the U.S. and South Korea, but observers say North Korea aims to advance its weapons development and then wrest greater concessions from its rivals in eventual diplomacy. In sports, after the Government Secondary School Sports Association Soccer Championships got rained out this past Friday, 4 champions were crowned yesterday. The Roscoe A.L. Davies soccer field, the Government Magic won the senior boys division, while the C.R. Walker Knights won the senior girls division. With the juniors, Anatole Rogers Timberwolves winning the boys division and H.O. Nash Lions lifting the title in the girls division. You can read all about how they did in today's Guardian Sports section. And Bayman Collegiate player Dylan Adderley having a superb season for his Texas Southern University Tigers, helping them to a 31-20 win-loss season. For his play, he was a Southwestern Athletic Conference Player and Hitter of the Year and was named to the All-SWAC, the Southwest Athletic Conference Baseball First Team. Adderley, who plays in the left field for the Texas Southern University Tigers, had a great season. Again, you can read more about it. You read all about it in today's Guardian Sports section. From the NHL and the Stanley Cup, the road to the Stanley Cup, the Florida Panthers are on their way after topping the Carolina Hurricanes 4-3. They've swept them. And heading into the Stanley Cup final for the first time since 1996 after sweeping the Eastern Conference final. From the NBA, the Boston Celtics season didn't end in Game 4, as you know, of their Eastern Conference Finals matchup with Miami Heat. And now, is there? Well, some are hoping there's a flicker of hope, whether Boston's 116-99 victory on Tuesday night was the start of a miraculous revival or simply a momentary reprieve from what NBA history suggests will be the inevitable. Remains to be seen. The Celtics win, making their chances of becoming the first NBA team in 151 tries to overcome a 3-0 deficit in a best-of-7 series is insurmountable, possibly, but we're heading into Game 5 tonight, and the Miami Heat are looking to join their hockey compadres from the Florida Panthers in entering a finals, this time for basketball. We'll keep you posted. We'll let you know. Also from the NBA, news from troubled player John Morant. Police in Tennessee conducting a welfare check on the suspended Memphis Grizzlies guard. They say he's fine after cryptic messages appeared on his Instagram account and were later deleted. The post from earlier Wednesday included messages and saying, quote, "Love ya, ma," "Love ya, pops," and, quote, "You the greatest baby girl, love ya." A fourth message simply read, "Bye." Representatives from the Shelby County Sheriff's Office telling the Associated Press in a phone call that deputies checked on Morant at his home Wednesday morning and that they were advised that he was taking a break from social media. The 23-year-old was suspended from all team activities following a video of him holding a gun that circulated May 13th on social media. The video was the two-time All-Star's second display of a firearm within 3 months in a social media video. That's sports, and that's the overnight. Time for your first look at weather. In your weather for today, we've had a lot going on weather-wise. In fact, there's a severe thunderstorm warning in effect for some of the islands at this moment, including Eleuthera, Exuma, and Cat Island. And we've had thunderstorm warnings and watches all night for a good portion of the country. It's as a result of rich moisture environment coupled with an active trough over the area. That's going to continue to trigger unsettled weather across the country for today and the next couple of days. We've got some special warnings. Beachgoers urged to be cautious due to the possibility of rip currents along Atlantic East Coast beaches. And mariners should be alert for waterspout and possible tornado activity. Localized flooding also possible in low-lying and flood-prone areas due to prolonged rainfall. For all areas today, look for cloudy to overcast and humid conditions with scattered showers and thunderstorms. Showers will be heavy and thunderstorms severe at times. Small craft should be alert for gusty winds and higher seas, aimed or near heavy showers or thunderstorms. Wind south-southeast to south-southwest at 10 to 15 knots, falling light and variable at times. Seas 2 to 4 feet with light northeasterly swells. Temperature-wise, we are looking at highs getting up to around 86 Fahrenheit, 30 Celsius today. Overnight lows tonight getting down about 73 Fahrenheit, 23 Celsius. It's currently about 75 degrees under mostly cloudy skies in Nassau. That's your first look at weather this morning. We'll have your extended outlook coming up after traffic in just a bit. It's time for a break, but when we come back, we're discussing the day's top stories right here on Morning Blend on Guardian Radio 96.9, your home for fresh news and smart talk all day.
Tired of paying?
Shrink your monthly debt payments down to one easy payment with our debt consolidation loan.
It also has a built-in savings that pays you 5% interest.
Inquire about our debt consolidation loans today.
Call 356-7764.
Working for you, working for me, raising standards, quality, boosting productivity for you, for me. Better products, better trades, respecting things Bahamian made for you, for me, for all to see. Bahamas Bureau of Standards and Quality, bringing higher, consistent standards and quality to all Bahamian products and services, meeting the standards both home and abroad. BBSQ coming
for
through.
You, for me. The road to 50 Jubilee celebration continues with the 50th on Bay Street Festival. Bahamian culture comes alive on Monday, May 29th from 2 p.m. until. Come out, bring the whole family to enjoy live music, food, drinks, cooking demos by local celebrity chefs, art, crafts, a kiddies corner, and so much more. It's Bahamian culture at its finest. The 50th on Bay Street Festival, this Whit Monday, May 29th. Bring the whole family. Admissions free.
You could win your share of $1,000 and free annual memberships when you apply for your Mobile Assist Visa Travel Rewards Card. It's a prepaid visa that gives you access to travel and online shopping deals worldwide every single day. Enter automatically when you successfully apply through our Mobile Assist app. Use your prepaid visa 5 times or more, and you are automatically entered to win your share of $1,000. See our social media pages for more details. Apply, save, and win with Mobile Assist.
Tired of banks forcing you to use technology to bank the way they want you to? Your convenience is important. So no matter what your banking needs, Commonwealth Bank's friendly staff are always available in branch for that personal one-on-one service. But when you choose technology, our online and mobile banking app offers you state-of-the-art functionality. The choice is yours. Commonwealth Bank. Bank the way you want.
This is Guardian Radio 96.9 FM. Fresh news, smart talk, all day.
Wake up, it's a new day. Wake up, it's a new day. It's the start of a new way. You know that it's here. It's the start of the end of the old way. Wake up, it's a new day.
Welcome back to Morning Blend here on Guardian Radio 96.9. We're streaming live on GuardianTalkRadio.com and on the Guardian Radio app for smart devices. We're also on your televisions on Cable Bahamas Channel 969 and BTC Flow Channel 612. You can tweet us at Morning Blend 969 or Facebook.com/Morning Blend 969. Text us 422-4796. Standard text rates apply. Once again, I am Dwight Strachan. Laverne Gardner's off today. You can join the conversation. We'll give you the phone numbers right now. 323-6232. 325-4316. 325-4259 or call us toll-free 242-300-5720. Coming up this morning, we've got a lot to get to. We're going to be talking about the 50th on Bay Street Festival that is coming up on Monday, Whit Monday, the holiday coming up. And later in our 8 o'clock hour, we're going to be picking up our Safe and Sound series all month long. We're looking at hurricane readiness and business continuity. And later in Morning Blend Business, we are talking about 5G technology, getting the education out there about that and why it's needed. We're going to be talking with Urka about that as well. That's coming up. So a lot to get to on this Thursday. Let's begin, though, with what else is in the news. And in the news, quite a bit to talk about. I won't be able to get to all of this, but just want you to be aware of this. Okay, so the coroner's court, a jury has deemed that the death of a man killed by police, they ruled it homicide by manslaughter. A coroner's jury has deemed the death of Azario Major, who was shot and killed by police in 2021, as homicide by manslaughter. The Director of Public Prosecutions now will have to decide whether to act on the jury's non-binding verdict. Since an inquest is not a trial, its jury cannot decide criminal liability. The 31-year-old Major was shot and killed by police outside of Woody's Bar on December 26, 2021, after he allegedly pointed a gun at a group of police officers. According to evidence presented during the inquest, police recovered a 9mm pistol from the passenger seat of Major's vehicle. Shortly before the deadly shooting, the same group of officers had escorted Major from the bar for allegedly behaving in a belligerent manner. But again, that's what the jury found, and now it's up to the Director of Public Prosecutions to decide whether there will be charges, whether there will be a case. Right? This is what happens. It'd be interesting to know, I'm going to see if I can find out, I don't know if I'll be able to, how many of these, when the juries recommend these things in inquests, whether we do take it all the way. We do press charges. I suspect that number is pretty low. But we'll follow it for you. We'll see if we can find out some information. And cruise passengers starting to tour the cruise port ahead of the grand opening tomorrow. And we are going to be broadcasting live from the Nassau Cruise Port tomorrow morning. So looking forward to that. Got a chance to see it this week. It is spectacular, and it is going to be a game changer, not just for cruise passengers, but for Bahamians looking for entertainment. This is what many of us have been saying downtown Nassau needed on Bay Street. And more on that tomorrow. You definitely want to tune in to Morning Blend tomorrow for that. All right. And the big headline in the Nassau Guardian, though, anti-violence bill tabled in the House seeks to address gender-based violence and other violent acts. For more on this, before we get into what the paper says and our views on it, take a listen to this report from our Paige McCartney.
While Minister of Social Services Obi Welchcomb today tabled the Protection Against Violence Bill 2023 in the House of Assembly. Among other things, the bill seeks to provide for the protection of and support for victims of violence. The bill also seeks to fulfill various obligations the Bahamas has under the Convention of the Elimination of All Forms of Discrimination Against Women, 1981. However, as noted previously by Welchcomb, this bill does not address marital rape. Nonetheless, Welchcomb said the country is beset with a violent subculture, adding that Bahamians must work to end all forms of violence.
Gender-based issues give rise to concerns in our society. Due to the high incidence of crime generally in the Bahamas involving violence, whether it be violence against men, women, children, or gang violence, it was also felt that the bill should not discriminate against anyone. The Protection Against Violence Bill 2023, therefore, generally provides for the protection of and support for victims of violence.
The bill also seeks to establish the Protection Against Violence Commission, the main function of which would be to include strengthening and collaboration among various multi-sectoral groups to combat violence and to provide care and support services for juvenile victims of violence.
Part 2 of the bill, Madam Speaker, seeks to set out the responsibility of the Commission to ensure international and regional obligations of the country. We are to ensure that they are complied with and enumerates the binding principles regarding human rights, and the Commission is required to adhere to it. Part 3 of the bill seeks to provide the framework for the administration of the Act. Specifically, the Minister has responsibility for A, develop and implement a national strategic plan, B, strengthen institution capacity in response to violence, 3, establish a foundation to raise funds for the sole use and benefit of the Commission in its functions, and D, implement sensitivity training programs for members of the police force.
Government is seeking public feedback on the bill before debate begins this July.
Okay, our Paige McCartney with that report there. There's more on this in the NASA Guardian today. Our Travis Cartwright Carroll writing about it. Again, that bill tabled in the House yesterday would provide protection and support for victims of violence. The bill seeks to create a national strategy to prevent and respond to the occurrence of violence and to protect victims of violence, and to begin a system of information gathering to generate reliable statistics in instances where domestic violence results in death, and allow the country to become more compliant with international and regional human rights treaties, of which the Bahamas is a part. Now, I suspect that last sentence is the most important thing with all of this, because, I mean, all those that we heard before, I'm pretty sure frameworks exist for that. I'm a little puzzled here, but let's read some more about this. Under the bill, the Protection Against Violence Commission would be formed, which shall provide care and support services for people subjected to violence, especially women, through public and private sector agencies, including shelters, counseling services for family members where appropriate, and care and custody of any affected children. We know we don't have too many of those, not enough. So that's interesting. The bill also outlines the rights of victims, including the right to be treated with compassion and dignity by law enforcement. Okay, so they don't have that right now? Okay, yeah, let's go on. And other professionals they come into contact with. It also details the procedure for making and handling complaints of victims by investigators. So we need a bill to get people to treat people properly. The commission would also create a hotline to assist victims. Victims who are sexually abused should seek immediate medical treatment from a medical practitioner engaged by the commission, or otherwise, the examination should include the taking of samples as evidence to support the prosecution of the offense, documenting any visible markings or bruises, and administering any drug or medication deemed necessary. Okay, see, I have to stop. So this is. What year is this? Is it 2023? You're telling me this stuff doesn't exist? This is supposed to be a very good thing, and I'm sure, but this can't be. This is where we are? We're just now making. Okay. Well, this explains everything. The bill also mandates that safe houses are offered to victims and their children, as well as psychological counseling, medical assistance, and legal assistance. The Violence Fatality Review Team, another entity that would be established under the bill, would conduct research and gather statistics relating to cases where domestic violence leads to the death of a victim. The team would maintain a database of deaths, review cases, identify patterns, and make recommendations to the minister. The team is also responsible for preparing an annual report for the minister on all aspects of its work, and that report should be laid in Parliament. Wilshcombe says the bill demonstrates the government's commitment to protect women. He said he and his colleagues will travel the country hosting town hall meetings to get feedback from residents. There needs to be feedback? This should have been happening. Wishcombe said, quote, "This is not just another step, but an important step. We must do all we can collectively to reverse the negative trends of our society and bring an end to violence. While the Protection Against Violence Bill is now before Parliament, the bill which would criminalize marital rape, which the government put out for consultation last September, has not yet been brought to the House." And they're still doing consultation on that one. All right, so again, earlier we told you the minister said that debate will begin in July, following extensive consultations with the public. What am I missing here? Something's going on? All these things should have been happening from the, 60s, 70s, 80s? I mean, like 1860s? Make it make sense. It's great. This is fantastic, but I'm very disturbed that we are just talking like this. What were we doing? We have to have a new bill to get the police to treat you with respect when you come to make a complaint. What has been happening? I know everybody has horror stories. Everybody. But we just thought they had terrible attitudes. We didn't think we needed to make a law for them to treat you with sense. Did I wake up on the wrong side of the bed this morning? What's going on here? 323-6232. 325-4316. 325-4259. Call us toll free, 242-300-5720. Again, I truly do believe this part here is to prove to the regional and international human rights groups that we are serious, which we should have been, but clearly we're not, if we now have to do a bill to do this. Let's get your reaction. This is not related to this. This person is saying here about Azaria Major. That killing was not manslaughter. That was cold-blooded murder. He was shot from 4 different guns. Again, we'll see. We'll see what happens. We'll see what happens. Caller will get to you in a second. This person says here, in a developed country, those police officers would have been in jail waiting to be charged with murder. That's back to Major again. Okay. Why does this bill have to have the words "seek to" in it? It is typical PLP speech that, coupled with the formation of another committee, is also typical. They're not serious, just appearing for international reasons. They were just saying what all the bills entail so people can understand, not saying it isn't there now so we know exactly what is there. Stop. Be positive. I'm trying to be positive. It's just saying a lot of, I don't want to say nothing, but a lot of things that should be already and that we already have legislation to deal with? No? So what's really different? The safe houses, sure, that's great. And some of the other committees. Okay, I'm trying to be positive. Make it make sense. That's what I'm saying. Good morning, caller. Do you understand what's going on here?
Morning, Dwight. How are you?
Doing well.
Yes, I am also confused myself as I listen to my good friend and brother yesterday. I am a bit confused also, and I know that you said already that you are also confused. I listened to my friend, my brother, but he is out to lunch as to what's going on in that bill. And I raised this on your show a few weeks ago, but you basically laughed at me. You laughed at me.
Are you sure?
Nothing in that bill to stage a campaign as to what's going on in the home of the traditional family structure and to save. No campaign. There is no campaign in this country and in the world as to what's going on in the home and the attack on the traditional family structure. You just mentioned a moment ago, not running all over the place, but this 23-year-old guy who is troubled. This boy come from a home. And with all that money, this young man is troubled. I watched this young man from in college.
You're talking about John Morant.
Yes. Mm-hmm. Anyone can see this young man is troubled.
Yeah, something very wrong.
We need a campaign like that in the Bahamas as to what's going on in the home. My friend, my brother, I love him, but he is out to lunch. Until we understand this force that is trying to replace the covenant of God, this is where the problem is. Trying to replace the covenant of God, we can sit down with our theory, we can try to bring every intellectual mind. Brother, you will not be able to replace the covenant of God. I am now of the belief global warming is real. You can't want to touch nature and get excellent. You can't want to tamper with the covenant of God and get excellent. And the Bahamas is following these conventions, and we will find ourselves in trouble because we are trying to replace the traditional family structure. And my brother Obi, I love you. Until we have a campaign as to what's going on in the home, we will stay in this dilemma. Pastor Rest Major was attacked. Was attacked for telling the truth. People do lie. Potiphar's wife lied on Joseph.
Okay.
He went to jail innocently.
Let's not go there today.
People do lie.
Yeah,
man said the truth.
Well,
and
that doesn't mean that you don't need to have laws just because people lie.
I have no problem with the laws, Dwight. Get me straight. Sometimes I hate to say it, but Dwight, please open your spiritual eyes. I think that is where spiritual eyes. This is an attack. You cannot want to replace the covenant of God and get excellent. This is where me and you differ. Have a wonderful morning.
Okay. I don't know what you mean by that, but okay. I hear you. Oh, boy. Let's get to some of your messages here. This person says here, it's a stall tactic. Dwight put something out there to make people and international bodies in particular think that the government is doing something, but in fact they are doing absolutely nothing about violence against women. This person says, Dwight, do you know right now if you were to go to the nearest police station to address an issue, they will tell you to go to another police station across town? This has happened to me on several occasions. Yeah, I understand that, right? So you got a problem with your police force. So get rid of those bad apples and address it like that. I mean, to say the bill will include the rights of victims, including the rights to be treated with compassion and dignity. I mean, so we don't have that right. I asked it earlier. We can't expect that, especially from law enforcement, to be treated humanely and with decency. That's where we are in 2023 in the Bahamas. Well, okay. Well, this is desperately needed then. And what have we been doing for these 50 plus years? What is this place? Are we just now getting to this? Well, no wonder. No wonder. But okay. So I'm trying to be positive. So I get it. Then we're really bad off. And wow. Yeah. All right. Some more of your messages here. This person says here, that bill, that was only the first reading of the bill to introduce it. It may not be the final bill. That family structure guy is annoying to me. I'm editing. That's why the bill is open. I mean, there's nothing wrong with the bill, but these things already exist. That's what I'm saying. And should have been happening and can happen without legislation. And if you do need the legislation, there's no reason for long debates here. Do it. Who's going to have a problem with the commission to who's going to, really, I mean, other than if cronies are appointed to it and they don't do anything. Caller, good morning. You're on the air.
Good morning, Dwight, and good morning to your guest.
Hi, good morning.
Yeah, Dwight, I got to applaud the government on this one in respect to this domestic violence bill.
Mm-hmm.
And I think now that you need to focus your attention. I'm not, and don't get me wrong, I'm not directing you, I'm only asking you. The campaign now should be shifted towards these so-called married women who are being raped. We know rape doesn't happen in isolation, Dwight. You don't want to just come up and rape you. There are going to be some other caveats that goes along with that, like physical abuse, mental abuse. I mean, and I said this to you before, and I'm going to say it to you again. You're saying to me now, if a woman who claims to be who claims to be being raped by her husband. And by the way, they are all still in this marital home waiting on the government to pass a law just to say no is no, But if they're being raped and going home and still living in this environment, they can use this bill since they don't want to use the provisions in Section 15 of the Sexual Domestic and Violence Act, where they can file for legal separation, take steps to get out of these conditions. They're not doing any of this, They're just sitting around waiting on the government to pass a law to say no is no. Now, they criticized Reverend Rex Major when he stated that people do lie, and it's true, people do lie. What one you think is more silly, Dwight? Or seems to be way out of left field? The pastor's comment or these women who claims that they're being raped? Remember, the Prime Minister said, I think it was in January, he said that women who are being sexually abused can go to the police and file a report. Months later, the commissioner stated that not one of these married women came and filed a complaint. So who are these people, Dwight? Who are these people you're advocating for? They're not coming out. They're not taking any steps for legal separation. So where are these people, Dwight? Have you spoken to any of them?
What do you mean they're not taking steps for legal separation?
No, they're not taking it because the commissioner stated that there was no
They didn't go to the police, but tons of people have filed for divorce since then.
Yes, and they're gone, right? So why aren't these women taking steps?
All right, so here's the thing. I need everybody to get this.
Out.
All right, so a few days ago, the police issued a wanted poster for somebody for sacrilege. They committed sacrilege, right? And a lot of people were commenting on that. That clearly doesn't happen every day. It clearly doesn't happen every month. It rarely happens. We haven't seen it. Some people were shocked that this was still on the books. Just because something doesn't happen all the time doesn't mean it shouldn't be against the law.
But it is, but right, the provisions are there.
Right now,
if you're being abused.
If you're being abused. But if that one time your husband takes advantage of you and forces you.
So if you go before a judge, so if this woman go before a judge, and this woman
that's happened already.
And at their position, just say this now, and at their position, the woman states, my husband comes home drunk. He beats me. He ties me.
Maybe he doesn't beat you. Maybe he doesn't beat you.
He forces himself on me.
He forces himself on you. Mm-hmm.
Yes, but it don't happen in isolation. They got to be some other
You
stuff.
don't know that. You don't know that.
Right.
And I'm glad you don't know. You can't say this.
So what is
right?
going to do? He's going to physically abuse her. He's going to emotionally abuse her. He's going to verbally abuse her.
I'm glad you don't know. That's a good sign. But it happens. It happens. There are reasons why. Perhaps she has been verbally threatened, mentally abused, right? If you do this, I will close out your bank accounts. You'll never see the kids again. We're going to run away. Whatever. It may not be physical, but for some reason he has control over her. Or she just wakes up and he's on top of her and going, right? So
she goes home to that marital home every night. And don't seek Dwight. Now you know now something would have to been mentally.
Well, let's say it was the first time. Okay, and then what?
She filed for legal separation and she moves on.
Yeah, okay. So she must just get over the rape.
If you don't think you should be asking these women to take steps, man, Dwight.
Well, hey.
Take some steps as opposed to going back home, continuously going in this home. Look, when you look at the Violence Statistics Report 2000, when you look at...
No, so you're assuming how a victim would act, and that's very dangerous, right?
Yeah, but
you don't know how.
You have scores. I can drop a copy of the Violence Statistics Reports to you. You can look at it. You'll see scores of children between the ages of 10 and 14 who have been raped and impregnated. Why aren't we focusing this campaign on these individuals? The statistics that is readily available to each and everyone, whether you're for marital rape or whether you're against. The statistics are there.
Why is this such an issue, though? Why is it such a problem? So the numbers are going to be low. We've seen that all over the world. There's not going to be plenty for people claiming they were raped in their marriage.
And
right?
also the convictions are going to be low.
Well, sure, but what does that mean?
I mean, it's all over. You can see it.
So it means there are tons of other crimes.
Penalty for it. It's hard to prove.
There are many other crimes like that. So what? Do not have it against the law because it's hard to prove.
Bring one victim on your show, man, Dwight, man, so you could get some credibility to this campaign of moderate.
Yeah.
Bring 1 or 2 victims on.
Boy, you all are very selfish people. I don't understand it. Wow. Okay. Yeah, so this bill we definitely need it because we need this part here about knowing how to treat people with compassion and dignity is a crisis in the country. So I'm all for it. Mr. Wilshcombe, when you're ready to talk about it, let me know because we got big time problems here. It's a scary place. Let's take a break. All morning long, we're going to remember the great Tina Turner, a victim of violence in marriage. Maybe people believe it because she was beaten up all the time, right? That's the only time they will believe you. But, hey, what an amazing woman, right? We'll be back, folks. This is Morning Blend on Guardian Radio 96.9.
There's a pale moon in the sky. Can you make your wishes on? Oh, like the light in your eyes, the one I built my dreams upon. It's not there any longer. Something happened somewhere and we both know why. But the man getting stronger. We must stop pretending I can't live this life. I don't care who's wrong or right. I don't really wanna fight no more. Too much talking, babe. Let's sleep on it tonight. I don't really wanna fight no more. This is time for letting go.
This is Guardian Radio 96.9 FM, Nassau, Bahamas.
I'm Rita Foley with an AP News Minute. Twitter owner Elon Musk says those technical problems last night as Republican Florida Governor Ron DeSantis announced his presidential run on Twitter were because so many people were trying to listen at the same time. Critics are poking fun at the technical glitches. AP correspondent Will Weissert says DeSantis has also made headlines with his attacks on progressive policies.
He and the Republican-controlled Florida legislature really advanced legislation on what they call parental rights, which basically limits what school districts can do and makes it more difficult for school districts to teach certain things about diversity and to have certain books in school libraries if parents object. He's also been a proponent of the 6-week abortion ban, which Florida just recently passed. Abortion is going to be a major issue in 2024.
Fans are mourning the death of Tina Turner, the queen of rock and roll. She was 83. I'm Rita Foley.
7:42 time for your first look at traffic for this morning, brought to you by RBC. Get in gear with an RBC auto loan. In your real-time traffic this morning, the streets are wet. We've got some flooding in some parts of the island, so keep that in mind as you make your way about this morning. So, your hot spots. Blue Hill Road looking busy for you near Carmichael Road and north of Soldier Road on the way to Independence Drive. That's northbound. Independence Drive, some building traffic there, and keep in mind there's some flooding there westbound as you approach the roundabout with Blue Hill Road. Marla Butler Highway, busy for you this morning as usual from about Fire Trail straight up to Tawny Williams Darling Highway. Gladstone Road also busy about midway between Fire Trail and John F. Kennedy Drive. Carmichael Road westbound looking busy as you head out to the Coral Harbor Road. And then in eastern New Providence, you've got Prince Charles Drive as usual, near Elizabeth Estates, near Fox Hill Road, and on the way to Beatrice Avenue. And especially between Soldier and Old Trail, Robinson Road there looking quite congested for you. Eastern Road also busy, east of Fox Hill Road to about Johnson Road. And Soldier Road northbound heading toward the Burnett Road, Wolf, and Village Road intersections. Marathon as well, northbound to Wolf Road. And Wolf Road from about Mackey westbound. You're going to see some congestion there. That's what we're looking at right now. We'll have another update for you after the 8 o'clock news. Morning Blend Traffic brought to you by RBC. Visit rbc.com/Caribbean/gear up for an RBC auto loan. And time for another check of your weather for this morning. Tropical storm or the severe thunderstorm warnings for some parts of the central Bahamas just expired. We will see if they will be put back in place, but that was for Eleuthera, Exuma, and Cat Island. And we've had thunderstorm warnings all night for a good portion of the country. So as a result of a rich moisture environment coupled with an active trough over the area, that's going to continue to support unsettled weather. For all areas today, look for cloudy to overcast and humid conditions with scattered showers and thunderstorms, which will be heavy, and thunderstorms could be heavy to severe at times. Small craft should be alert for gusty winds and higher seas in or near showers and thunderstorms. Temperatures today getting up to around 86 Fahrenheit, 30 Celsius. Overnight lows tonight getting down to about 73 Fahrenheit, 23 Celsius. In your extended outlook, unsettled weather will continue across the islands for the next few days. So for Friday, tomorrow, cloudy to overcast with scattered showers and isolated thunderstorms. Saturday, variably cloudy, scattered showers and isolated thunderstorms. This is all, as we said, about what's going on in the area. So it's a non-tropical area of low pressure expected to form along a frontal boundary offshore of the southern United States during the next day or two. The system has about a 10% chance of formation through the next 7 days. And the Bahamians be encouraged to prepare for the start of the hurricane season, which begins June 1st, just a few days away now, runs through November 30th. That's your morning blend weather check, brought to you by the Bahamas Games. Which island are you repping? The Bahamas Games are coming this July 7th through July 15th. For more information, call 322-1029 or follow the Bahamas Games on social media at Bahama Games.
Everybody's idea of home is different, so every mortgage should be unique, shaped around you, flexible to move and change as you do. RBC will come to you to get you started and stay by your side to help guide you every step of the way. Visit rbc.com/Caribbean/home story and start your story today.
Follow us on Instagram and Facebook at RBC Caribbean.
Ready to step into the future? From your front door to the backyard and everywhere in between. See and speak to whoever's there with Ring Video doorbells and security cameras now available at Alive. Protect what matters most, all from one easy app, available in your Google or Apple Play Store. Visit bealive.com/ring to learn more. We are alive.
Wherever you're headed, the Custom Computers Know-How team is standing by to help guide you in the East and the West. We now have 2 convenient locations on Patton Street in Palmdale and our newest store in the Caves Village Shopping Plaza through the Blake Road entrance. Discover the latest products by top international brands and the knowledge you need to unleash tomorrow's technology today. Drop by Custom Computers out east or out west. We're open Saturdays from 10 till 4.
People, what you thinking? We want something different. People, what you wanting? We want local government. I can tell them no more slunking. We want see it function. I can tell them no more joke. I forgot. Going down Blue Hill Road, going down Village Road, going down Nassau Road. We want local government. We want local government. Vista Road, we want local government. Shelter, we want local government. We got call for local government.
Sign the petition and find out more information at risebahamas.net.
Need a new appliance, building a new home, or renovating, or just spring cleaning? Bundle and save, or make it a combo with BWF pre-inventory, warehouse clearance, and tent sale. Friday, May 26th through Saturday, May 27th from 8 a.m. to 5 p.m. Save big on appliance combo specials, houseware supplies, bedding, curtains and bathroom supplies, kitchen and outdoor, cooking supplies, barbecue grills, selected welding and hardware supplies, generators and pressure washers, automotive supplies and accessories, and a whole lot more. Don't miss it. BWF. We're more than just our name. Number 13 Wilton Street. Call 394-000-4-6. Check us out on Facebook. We also ship to the Family Islands.
Get ready, Bahamas. The Bahamas Football Association and the Ministry of Education proudly present the Samuel P. Haven Junior High School Soccer Nationals. May 19th to 27th, witness the best high school soccer action at the Roscoe ALJV Soccer Fields, featuring top senior girls and boys teams from across our islands in the first National Soccer Championship in 3 years. Catch the R. Billy Pacers, St. Andrews Hurricanes, Patrick J. Bethel, Mighty Monarchs, and many more as they compete for the ultimate prize. Don't miss this exciting event. Bring your friends and family to cheer on and support our talented young athletes, the future of Bahamian soccer. More info at bahamasfa.net. See you there.
The 6th edition of the Bahamas Games are on the way. July 7th through the 15th. Get ready for inter-island sporting competition in the spirit of unity and camaraderie. Which island is gonna win? It's the Bahamas Games. Our nation, our talent, our games. And look out for the B-Games crew coming to your island soon. For more information, call 809-1242 or visit the Bahamas.
We're good for you.
My business couldn't survive without my credit card machine from Fidelity.
It's fast, convenient, and my clients love it.
My sales increase, and I can track my earnings.
Get your credit card machine from Fidelity today.
Call 356-7764.
Total Auto Care on Howard Road offers fast, quality auto maintenance at the very best prices. Tune-ups, oil changes, brakes, suspension, wheel alignments, radiators, water pump replacements, and more. Need quality brand name tires for your vehicle? Tires that'll stand up to these roads? No worries. We supply Michelin, BF Goodrich, Bridgestone, Pirelli, and Toyo. We'll import them fast and install them for you at no extra cost. So when your car needs maintenance or quality tires, we're on Howard Road, just before Burger King. Come see us. Total Auto Care. Call us at 341-6599 or 341-2350.
The third annual Ackland's Cascarilla Heritage Festival, June 8th to the 11th. Come celebrate down-home style during 3 days packed with activities. Hear native stories and songs as we kick off opening night at the King Eric Regatta Park. Explore Ackland's and its rich history, family roots, and natural resources, all while sightseeing. Taste island cuisine and enjoy cultural activities every night on the Regatta Park grounds. We've got bark beating contests, quadrille dancing, cascarilla racing, and activities for the kids. Music performances by Ebony 242, the Magical Beat Band, Bloody, Shine, and Sugar, and other special guests. The third annual Ackland's Cascarilla Heritage Festival, June 8th to the 11th, down in Spring Point, Acklands. Book your seats now by calling Bahamas Air. See you there. This ad has been sponsored by Screws and Fasteners World.
This is Guardian Radio 96.9 FM. Fresh news, smart talk, all day.
My heart's on fire. You come to me wild and wild. You come to me
We are back here with Morning Blend on Guardian Radio 96.9. That is, we're playing that for not political reasons, folks. That's because the great, if you will, oh boy, we lost the great Tina Turner yesterday. And so we're remembering her this morning with some of her greatest songs here. But we are going to move on. We got a lot of great text messages during that break, though. Hopefully I'll get to these a little bit later in the show about what we were talking about earlier, the anti-violence bill, and the conversations we were having earlier this morning that we got a long way to go. But anyway, we're moving on because we are celebrating the 50th anniversary of the country's independence. And there's a big event coming up in just a few days, right on the holiday, with Monday, which is Monday coming, the 50th on Bay Street Festival. You've been hearing the ads, seeing the ads everywhere. What is it all about? What can we expect? Well, here to tell us all about it from the Independence Secretariat, the Commission, we are very pleased to have with us Anastasia Palacios, Star Palacios. Good morning. Great to have you with us.
Good morning, Dwight. Good morning, Bahamas.
And we have special guest, Andrew Burrows from My Bahamas Sponge, and he has brought all this wonderful, beautiful-looking sponge here with us this morning. Sir, great to have you with us.
Thank you, Dwight, and good morning, Bahamas.
All right, so we'll get to you in a bit, Andrew. But Star, tell us about this festival. This is new, but it looks amazing. What is the 50th on Bay Street Festival all about?
We are so excited to bring the 50th on Bay Street Festival to the Bahamian public. Of course, this is a celebration year. Yesterday made 48 days. That means today is 47 days until we celebrate our 50th anniversary of independence, Dwight. So time is quickly moving. And as it does, you'll see more and more coming from the Independence Commission. This particular festival allows us to come together. A part of being one people united as one is that we should actually see each other, right? We should be a part of community. And so what we've tried to create using these various events the Commission has produced are opportunities for us to truly see one another, to celebrate, to come from our various corners of the island, various corners of the archipelago, and to get together in true celebration of what it means to be Bahamian. And on this Monday, we're having an absolutely free festival. So it's free in terms of entry. Free in terms of entry, so let me clarify that. But of course, if you wanted to support vendors like Mr. Burrows that you'll speak with shortly from My Bahamas Sponge, then you are doing your part in taking part in what we're calling the 242 Challenge, which is to buy Bahamian, to support our local entrepreneurs and to support our industry. So we'll have various vendors there. Some of the activities will be free. Many things you will have to, pay for, but lots of it will be free, including the entertainment. We've got 2 separate stages that day.
Wow.
And so we're going to be hearing from some of the greatest bands in the nation. We've got well-known names like Mighty Pencil, who's a great DJ, hyping it up in between some of our acts. But we're looking forward to just the musical entertainment elements. We have a kids' cultural village. As a mom of 2 young children, I'm so excited about that, Dwight. I'm going to just let them go in there, run up and down, get tired. So by the time as we go home later that evening when the festival ends, they can just go to sleep,
Right.
And so I'm excited about that. And then I just love the opportunity to engage Bahamian artisans. This is when I get the chance to see what new conch shell earrings are out or, what straw bags have been created. And so if you do like to just purchase Bahamian goods, this is a good time. But Dwight, at the last festival I got some potato bread, man. And that is be hard to find. So I like
So we can expect this, right?
Yeah, we can expect some good conch fritters, some good conch salad, all the things that make us Bahamian in this atmosphere of just joy that this is the Jubilee.
Yeah.
And that we have, while, your headlines this morning remind us of how far we've got to go, we still have come very far, and we get to honor who we are in this celebration on Bay starting at 2 p.m. on Monday.
2 p.m. to until?
Until about 10.
Yeah. Because you do have work the next day.
We do have work the next day.
Boy.
So, we expect that between about 10 p.m. and 12 a.m. things will hopefully wrap up. But in the meantime, we will have some great entertainment. And we're really excited because the first 500 people that come to the festival, we've actually created something commemorative for them to take home. And so if you've been coming to all of our events, even as far back as launching the logo, where they gave out cups with the logo on it, you've been able to collect some items that will hopefully be able to be passed down in generations as you celebrated the 50th.
Excellent.
So the first 500 people coming in will get that commemorative gift. And of course, we want to remind people that while it is a free entry event, we're hoping that you will go and get tickets. Tickets help us to kind of measure and understand how many people are attending. They help us to manage making sure that we just have enough, police etc. around to make sure that everything is going well, and just to give us a better idea of numbers, right? What's not measured didn't happen. So we just want to know how many people are coming.
So where do you get the tickets from?
So tickets are available in several different locations. You can actually get them in person at the Alive store, at the Mall at Marathon, and the Southwest Plaza. You can stop by Z&S on Rusty Bethel Drive, or you can visit the Independent Secretariat at 1 Montague Place for your tickets. And then we also have them available online.
Okay. All right, we're going to break for news really quickly. When we come back, we'll talk with Andrew Burrows and talk about this beautiful sponge. This is Morning Blend. Stay with us. Welcome back to Morning Blend here on Guardian Radio 96.9. We are streaming live on GuardianTalkRadio.com and on the Guardian Radio app for smart devices. We're also on your televisions on Cable Bahamas Channel 969 and BTC Flow Channel 612. You can tweet us at Morning Blend 969 or Facebook.com/Morning Blend 969. Text us 42247. Text rates apply. And now at 8:21, time for another check of your weather for today, brought to you by Bahamas First Insurance. Here's what's happening. We've got a lot going on weather-wise. We've got rich moisture environment coupled with an active trough over the area that's going to trigger unsettled weather across the country today and for the next few days. Beachgoers being urged to be cautious due to the possibility of rip currents along Atlantic beaches, and mariners should be alert for waterspout and possible tornado activity. Localized flooding also possible in low-lying and flood-prone areas due to prolonged rainfall. So for today, for all areas, cloudy to overcast and humid with scattered showers and thunderstorms. Showers will be heavy and thunderstorms severe at times. Small craft should be alert for gusty winds and higher seas in or near showers and thunderstorms. Temperatures today, we're looking at highs getting up to around 86 Fahrenheit, 30 Celsius. Overnight lows tonight getting down about 73 Fahrenheit, 23 Celsius. It's currently about 78 degrees under mostly cloudy skies. But again, we're expecting a wet day today and especially tomorrow. And so if you have outdoor activities, keep that in mind today. We won't begin to see rain taper off until about Sunday. So be forewarned. So, in your extended outlook, unsettled weather will continue across the islands for the next few days. Friday, tomorrow, cloudy to overcast with scattered showers and isolated thunderstorms. Saturday, variably cloudy with scattered showers and isolated thunderstorms. And again, by Whit Sunday, we'll start to see things taper off a bit and much lower chances of rain by Whit Monday, the holiday. That's your Morning Blend weather check, brought to you by Bahamas First Insurance. Visit firstonlineinsurance.com and select a Bahamas First agent to purchase, pay, or renew your car or home online, or just stop by any Bahamas First agent. Bahamas First, celebrating 40 years, is the first Bahamian general insurance company. What's first for you comes first for us. And time for another check of your traffic for this morning, brought to you by RBC. Get in gear with an RBC auto loan in your real-time traffic this morning. As usual, Milo Butler Highway is your hot spot. Heavy traffic from Fire Trail straight up to Tonic Williams-Darling Highway. Traffic building along Tonic Williams-Darling Highway as well, especially westbound and eastbound toward the roundabout. Glass Road looking like a much better alternate route for you this morning. As you get closer to Munnings Road, you'll see heavy traffic in front of you on the way to JFK Drive northbound. Traffic is building along the lake, though, Lake Cunningham, eastbound to the roundabout with Glass Road and Bahamar Boulevard. Carmichael Road near Gladstone Road, a little congested for you, and near Faith Avenue. It's looking a bit busy, but manageable. And eastbound to Blue Hill Road, also some building traffic out there. Blue Hill Road north of Soldier Road, as usual, heavy traffic to Independence Drive. Independence Drive, both directions, west and eastbound. And again, there's some flooding on Independence Drive. In eastern New Providence, we've got Prince Charles Drive, heavy traffic westbound, especially near Beatrice Avenue. And once you get through to Robinson Road. You're not going to be moving much westbound between Soldier and Old Trail. And Eastern Road, just for you, not much movement going on there. Wolf Road is busy this morning. Multiple directions. Near Marathon, near East Street, near Blue Hill Road, and Poinciana Drive, especially between Blue Hill and Nassau Street. Those are your hot spots. That's your real-time traffic and your morning blend traffic alert brought to you by RBC. Visit rbc.com/Caribbean/gear up for an RBC auto loan.
Well, the men come in these places, and the men are all the same. You don't look at their faces, and you don't ask their names. You don't think of them as human. You don't think of them at all. You keep your mind on the money, keeping your eyes on the wall. I'm your private dancer, a dancer for money. Do what you want me to do. I'm your private dancer, a dancer for money, and any old music will do. I wanna make $1 million.
We are back here with Morning Blend on Guardian Radio 96.9. Dwight Strachan with you on this Thursday morning, remembering Tina Turner all morning long. All right, so we are talking about the 50th on Bay Street Festival set for Monday coming, Whit Monday, and we're talking with Anastasia Palacios with the Independence Commission, and we've got Andrew Burrows with My Bahamas Sponge, and we'll get some more details about the street festival from Anastasia in just a few minutes. But Mr. Andrew Burrows, great to have you with us. You've been showing that you're quite a philosopher during our break, the things that you're saying, wise nuggets that you are issuing to us this morning. We appreciate you. And you've brought along, as we said, this colorful sponge. This is beautiful stuff. Tell us about My Bahamas Sponge. How long have you been in this business?
My Bahamas Sponge, it's a company that started in 2011. And so we've grown tremendously. We've seen a lot of movement. We've also been down at the bottom, took a blow, especially during COVID. And but like everything else, you've got to use the opportunity that's presented to you. And I'm the type of person that sees the glass as being half full and not half empty. And so one of my products actually came out of the pandemic. Happened during the pandemic. And so I used that opportunity when nothing else was moving, nothing else was selling, to actually start to sell this to the locals. And so that was a blessing in disguise.
Which product was that?
That was actually my back scrubber.
Oh, okay. All right. Yeah. So again, tell us about that story. Like, how did that come about? Why did you decide to go that direction?
What happened was I when I started the business and I would do different events, from time to time I got folks asking me about, well, if you had the sponge on a stick, because I up to then we'd just been selling the body sponges, something that you'd hold in your hand. And I always said that when I got enough interest, it is something that I would look into. Of course, that didn't happen. And then during the pandemic, one of my aunts, her name is Ingrid, called me, and she was like, I had sent out a mass communication advertising some stuff, and she was like, boy, if you had one of them on a stick, I would have bought that from you. And so that's what really drove me into actually going out there and trying it out. And so this is probably about the third or fourth iteration of this, because I started out with a different handle. One was with a small round handle, and I didn't like the feel for it. It worked okay, but I didn't like how it felt. Then I went to a thicker round handle, and that was a little better, but still that wasn't quite what I wanted. And then my brother-in-law started doing some handles for me, and so These brushes, I needed to have some kind of support in the back so that the when someone is using it, it feels stable. It doesn't feel like it's dropping off or anything. Even though it never came off, it just felt like it could. And so I didn't want people to be left with that impression. And so that's why I continued to evolve and to try to get
trial and error.
Yeah, different things.
So how did you get into this? How did you get into this sponge? What?
The sponge business, actually, my background is in IT. I came from BTC, and so I worked in our IT department there. And my wife, who still works at the credit union, they were opening an office in Mangrove Key. And she said, well, when I go down there, because they were rotating staff on a weekly basis, she said, well, when I go down for the week, why don't you come and spend some time with me? So I was like, yeah, okay. I took vacation and I went down there. So, of course, when she went to work, I went, looking around, and I just saw sponges all over the place. Everybody's yard had sponges. So I asked the lady, her name was Miss Moxie, where we were staying. I said, Miss Moxie, I see a lot of sponge. I said, I thought the sponge was dead. She said, dead? That's how these fellas make a living. And, my wife said, I like to talk, which is really true. But so I went down we were in an area called Little Harbor. And I went down to the shore, and I saw the guys out there with the sponges, and I started engaging them, and they were telling me. And at that time, I didn't know anything about sponges, man. Just what I seen in the books. And I had physically seen them before, but no real interaction with them in any meaningful way.
Yeah.
And so I saw it, and I got to see the whole process of it from when they bring them in the shore. Now, for those of you who've never been around sponge before, it smells horrible. I mean, it has a smell when that's dying, because technically a sponge is considered an animal, not a plant.
Wow.
And so there's no blood vessels and that type of stuff, but when you cut the sponges and then they have to die, so that's where that smell, that decaying smell comes from. And so I spoke to them and I talked to them, and I had some interest in it. And so the remainder of the time there, and just to back it up though, Mangrove Key, I had been to Mangrove Key before while I was working at BTC. But what happened was I normally go in through South Andrews, Driggs Hill, caught the ferry, came over to Mangrove Key, went right to the Butelco station, because my work was usually just with Butelco's, our internal customers. And so I didn't go out into the public. And so I would go to the building, do whatever work I had to do, and then have lunch or something right in the area, catch the ferry and go back. So I never actually went to the other end of Mangrove Key. That's why I didn't know about it. This was back in 2009. And I was interested sufficient, but didn't have the means to do anything at that time.
What were you interested in? I mean, what did you see as potential? And what do people use sponge for these days?
The interest was, I think at that point in time, my interest in terms of technology and that type of stuff was waning. I was not really interested in doing that anymore. So I saw this as an opportunity, and it looked like something that would challenge me, because this is 180 degree different from what I had been doing.
Definitely.
And so that's what kind of interests me. And so I got into it. And now you can find sponges for all kinds of things, from bathing to cleaning. People use it to put texture on the wall during painting. You can also use sponges to take lint off the clothes, shine your shoes. I mean, makeup. Just variety of stuff. The larger ones we use as decorative sponges, and you see I put the color in it. And we even added the aquamarine and gold to signify the colors of the Bahamian flag. And so it's a lot of work. I don't usually put color into much, because most people I find who are interested in sponges, they want it natural. So I only do color for special occasions. So since this is our 50th, because this is the first time I've done the color of the flag like this. So So this is where we are at now. I'm just excited about the opportunity. I'm glad for the opportunity to be a part of the street festival and the other events that are going on in celebration of our 50th year of independence.
And you're going to be out there.
Oh, yes.
Pecan Bay, you got a booth.
Yes. Yep.
And these are going to be on sale.
Yep. Everything is for sale except for me.
All right, so we're going to see more authentic vendors like this at Starzy.
We certainly will. And what Mr. Ross didn't mention is the fact that he actually has some of the sponges on the stick that say Happy in 50th Independence Bahamas.
Yes.
And so, you're going to be able to get so many commemorative things here. And I think we take for granted that we are living history, right?
Right.
Most societies, what is established in that first 100 to 150 years is what sets them up. So we are our forefathers of this nation.
Yeah.
And so I really want people to reflect on that,
Yeah.
to hold that close to their hearts and ask themselves, how am I being the best citizen I can be?
Right.
But also, how am I supporting my fellow citizens? People like Mr. Andrew here who really have taken an industry that was very popular in our nation many years ago, revitalized it and turned it into something that we could all use. We could use decorative sponges in our home, keep it clean. And while he certainly has a clientele that's both local and abroad and does mass work, it's also good for us to have that as an individual and to be able to pass this on to our lineage 50 years from now. We may or may not be here, but certainly if our kids are here, our grandkids are here, they could know, oh, my Grammy was at the 50th and she got this sponge.
Yes,
you know?
absolutely.
And there's this connection when they go in to
Yes, it's
gonna be
celebrate the
very
100,
special.
celebration.
Right.
So
Yes.
I want to encourage all Bahamians to come out. Again, Dwight, we are giving out tickets for this free, but we would like you to have a ticket just that we can make sure of our numbers and that we're taking care of you as much as possible. And of course, you can do that. I mentioned some of the places where you can go into, but we also have it online. So if it is that you prefer to just get your ticket online, you can go to Eventbrite. That's eventbrite.com. And then once you get to Eventbrite, you can type in 50th on Base celebration. Eventbrite allows you to search, and you will be able to see that information come up. So we really want to encourage you to go ahead, get your tickets. The exact link would be www.eventbrite.com/e/on-bay-street-festival. But again, that's complicated.
Yeah.
Go to eventbrite.com.
I'll post that on our
Go to
social media.
eventbrite.com and type in 50th on Bay, and the event will come up for you,
Yeah.
and you can get a ticket there. Or if you'd like to, of course, you can go into a live at the Southwest Plaza or the Mullet Marathon, ZNS Bahamas, or the Secretariat office. And of course, entry is free. Those first 500 guests will get something commemorative to take home. But it's really going to be great. We have live entertainment, Bahamian music. There's going to be giveaways and prizes. And the reason we want people to get those tickets, Dwight, is because we're having raffles all day.
Okay.
Right? And so if you have your ticket on you and you are present, you can enter to win something. So make sure that you have the ticket for that reason. In that kids zone, we're going to be having old time storytelling. We've partnered with Goombay Kids, the TV show, and they're going to be really responsible for that cultural area. And so, a lot of our kids, it's unfortunate and we educate our history, but so many of the old time things they don't necessarily get to experience because social media has transformed the way we tell stories.
Yeah.
Yes.
But we're going to go back old school so that they
Excellent.
can see what their grandmothers and their grandfathers learned and how they learned it. So we want to encourage kids to enjoy that part of the village. And then, Bahamian food is just always a good time.
Yeah.
I know we're talking about health and, we doing the run walk and we encouraging people to eat healthy.
But it's party time.
But
We got to
it's party
celebrate.
time.
We got to
And on
celebrate.
this day, we get peanut cake and beanie cake and coconut cake and peas and rice and I hope they have some gully wash, man. I
Wow.
gotta
Oh, that sounds
check the
good.
vendor list.
Yeah.
But it's going to be a very good time. Musical entertainment, of course, and then we're encouraging you just see somebody you haven't seen in a while and get connected again and know what it feels like as we go 47 days into this. Prepare yourself for what is about to come. Because this is just the beginning. In today's Guardian, if you pick it up, you'll see a full list of the events coming over the next 47 days. And this is just one where we want people to come out and celebrate, free entry, and you just get to enjoy this atmosphere of Bahamian celebration and excellence.
All right, really quickly, we're running out of time. But so how does this work? Is Bay Street being closed off? Are we taking over all of Bay?
Taking over Bay Street. Okay, so this actual festival is going to take place between Charlotte Street. So Charlotte is just one street west, depending on the direction you're going in, from Parliament Street. And then continuing to go further east toward Bank Lane.
Okay.
And so right in that space, we'll be having this festival. So you know what, you want to be advised, and I'm sure that police will send out an advisement around, the closing of that street and how
Right.
traffic will flow. So look out for that for the general public. The festival doesn't start until 2. So I'm sure on that advisory, they will let you know, what times those streets will be closed and how to maneuver in terms of traffic. Of course, we want you, much like when we celebrate and do the Independence, People's Rush, etc., to park in the surrounding area so you can walk on down to the festival. That part of the excitement and the engagement and the communication between you and your family as you walk and talk and get connected and get on down into that area.
Yeah.
But yes, it
So-
will be closed.
So if
keep
you
that
are
in
getting
mind.
tickets, is there one central place to enter, or can you enter from any side you come on? Huh?
That's a great question.
Mhm.
And I'm going to make sure that you get that answer before your show ends.
All right.
Mhm.
I appreciate it. But so keep that in mind. Monday's going to be interesting. Bay Street's going to be closed off, and we're going to have a great time at the 50th on Bay Street Festival. With Monday coming up in a few days, and we're looking forward to seeing Andrew Burrows and many other vendors out there.
Yes.
And it's going to be a great time. Star Palacios, Andrew Burrows, thank you so much for being with us this morning. Appreciate it.
Thank you.
Thank you very much.
All right. Everybody, we're going to be back. This is Morning Blend on Guardian Radio 96.9. Stay with us.
I'm your private dancer, a dancer for money. I'll do what you want me to do. I'm your private dancer, a dancer for money, and any old music will do. I'm your private dancer, dancer for money. I'll do what you want me to do. Just a private dancer, a dancer for money.
When faced with an illness like cancer, we band together, and we at Cleveland Clinic in Florida have your back. From advanced cancer treatments to extra safety measures at all of our locations, we're with you on this journey for every infusion and follow-up, for every step of the way, for every care in the world. Cleveland Clinic in Florida. Get the care you need when and where you need it. To learn more or connect with a local representative, visit clevelandclinic.org/Caribbean.
Everybody's idea of home is different, so every mortgage should be unique, shaped around you, flexible to move and RBC will come to you to get you started and stay by your side to help guide you every step of the way. Visit rbc.com/Caribbean/home story and start your story today.
Follow us on Instagram and Facebook at RBC Caribbean.
Mommy, why can't dogs talk? Why do I have to go to school and you don't? Why do you sing in the morning when you're bad at it? Why don't you brush your teeth when you take me to school? Why doesn't it ever snow here? Why does Daddy take the bus to work? Why are trees so tall? Why don't you tell me where babies come from? Mommy, Mommy, Mommy!
We're like a kid that doesn't ask a million questions before noon. CG Atlantic Agents and Brokers. Good like that.
The Access Accelerator Small Business Development Center is here to help small businesses throughout the entire Bahamas. To better serve you, we've made it easier to contact us. Call 461-7232, WhatsApp 359-0626 or 359-2394, email helpdesk@spdcbahamas.com, or submit a ticket when you visit our help center at accessaccelerator.org. The Access Accelerator, empowering small business.
People, what you thinking? We want something different. People, what you wanting? We want local government. I can tell them no more slunking. We want CH function. I can tell them no more joke. I forgot. Going down Blue Hill Road, going down Village Road, going down Nassau Road. We want local government. We want local government. This road, we want local government. Shed a love, we want local government. We got call for local government.
Sign the petition and find out more information at risebahamas.net.
Total Auto Care on Howard Road offers fast, quality auto maintenance at the very best prices. Tune-ups, oil changes, brakes, suspension, wheel alignments, radiators, water pump replacements, and more. Need quality brand name tires for your vehicle? Tires that'll stand up to these roads? No worries. We supply Michelin, BF Goodrich, Bridgestone, Pirelli, and Toyo. We'll import them fast and install them for you at no extra cost. So when your car needs maintenance or quality tires, we're on Howard Road, just before Burger King. Come see us. Total Auto Care. Call us at 341-6599 or 341-2350.
At Wendy's, we are different. We don't just use beef. It's fresh, never frozen. Our burgers are square because we never cut corners. Served hot off the grill with fresh lettuce, tomatoes, onions, and American cheese. We believe in fast food done right. Always serving fresh, never frozen beef. Order a hot, juicy Dave single, double, or triple. Made with fresh, never frozen beef. Now only at Wendy's. Different inside and out.
Ready to save? You can put $100 into the CFAL Savings Express plan and make sure your money keeps growing. Earn interest on your savings while you're sleeping, eating, or standing in line at the bank. Ready to invest? Start by putting $1,000 into our mutual funds and earn interest there too. Because at CFAL, your interest is our interest. Visit cfal.com to start now. CFAL, growing wealth for future generations of Bahamians.
It's been 35 years since Custom Computers was founded, and we'd like to celebrate that milestone by thanking you, our clients and customers. You've inspired 35 years of expert service and support, partnering with the world's leading brands like HP, Apple, and Microsoft. We take pride in setting the bar for what you expect and deserve from a homegrown Bahamian business. We're here to serve you when you need us, so call 396-1101. Custom Computers, raising the standard since 1987.
When faced with an illness like cancer, we band together, and we at Cleveland Cancer Treatments to extra safety measures at all of our locations. We're with you on this journey. For every infusion and follow-up, for every step of the way, for every care in the world. Cleveland Clinic in Florida. Get the care you need when and where you need it. To learn more or connect with a local representative, visit clevelandclinic.org/Caribbean.
This is Guardian Radio 96.9 FM. Fresh news, smart talk, all day.
Living under the fear till nothing else remains. We don't need another hero. We don't need to know the way home. All we want is life beyond the thunderdome. Looking for something we can rely on. There's got to be something there. Love and compassion. That day is coming. All else are castles built in the air. And I wonder when we are ever gonna change. Living under the fear till nothing else remains.
We are back here with Morning Blend on Guardian Radio 96.9. It's time for our Safe and Sound series. All month long, we've been discussing hurricane readiness and business continuity. We're doing a special Thursday edition of it, and very pleased to have with us our partner on this from Preventative Measures, Gamal Nouri. Gamal, good morning. Great to have you with us as always.
Hey, Dwight. Good morning. Good to be here. Good morning, Bahamas.
Hey, the countdown is on. June 1st fast approaching. Hey, exactly 2 weeks. 2 weeks from today. Is that 1 week? 1 week. 1 week from today.
Of course, I'm trying to check my calendar.
I'm in the days. Waking up too early. But 1 week from today, the hurricane season, the Atlantic hurricane season, pretty much here. So this morning, we are talking about testing and exercising the hurricane readiness plan. We've been talking about putting that plan in place, especially for businesses over the past couple of weeks, but now to test it. What should that entail, and why is that important?
Well, the plan at this point, we've over the last a few weeks, we've been talking about planning and preparedness and readiness. And at this stage, it's hoped that individual entities, businesses will have a plan. But now this is a good time before the proverbial stuff hits the ceiling to test it. Because you would have developed a plan, you would have gone through and checked resources, but does this thing actually work? Does it actually make sense from a practicality standpoint? It may sound good, look good on paper. You have all of the nice diagrams and everybody has their phones and you have internet, but does it work? Does it work? And as opposed to waiting until an actual event to find out that there are gaps, testing and exercising gives you an opportunity to identify potential gaps and inconsistencies before the actual event. And so this is why it's so important, and it focuses on business continuity, This is one of the things because you want to be able to deliver your service and you have a timeline as to when you can deliver that service. It also focuses on employee safety. Are you placing your employees in unnecessary danger? There's already a danger of risk as it relates to the actual storm, but because of your plan, does your plan increase that risk? So you want to ensure that employee safety is identified and that they actually have the necessary equipment, especially for agencies like law enforcement, healthcare services, security operations, because a lot of those entities will be expected to perform during the crisis. So in that vein, have you properly equipped your staff? Is there a safe location or structure on your site or in your facilities to ensure that staff, while they're riding out the storm, are they in a safe environment? And certainly the next management, do you have access to your resources, to your equipment, to if supplies run low, do you have a surplus of supplies ready to go? And infrastructure, also stakeholder communication, especially for those entities that are regulated. Do you have the necessary communication systems in place to ensure that you can, communicate and inform the public, other stakeholders of what's going on? And like I said, those who are regulated, there's a requirement by certain entities, financial services in particular, where you have to have your plan in place and to meet that requirement for operation. So that's it in a nutshell, why it is important. I know that was a lot, but we can expand on it as we go on.
Mm-hmm. All right. So when should that testing take place? For most people, should that have already happened at this point, a week out, or does it? When do you recommend?
Well, Dwight, I am an advocate for ongoing and continuous improvement, and certainly at this stage, you should have done your testing. Certainly at this stage, you should have evaluated and validated the concept. So a week out is not bad, and even during the season, into the season, because things change. If we were to appreciate what testing is, it isn't just in the event of a hurricane, but I mean there are different things that impact your plan. You may lose a particular staff member who may leave your organization. You may have built a new facility within that period of time. So all of those are opportunities to test and exercise your plan. You may have onboarded a new service provider or a new resource. You may have bought a new application for your business. So all of these are opportunities to test and exercise your plan. So you're not just waiting for, this is the day we test a week out or we test a month out. There are numerous instances where plans need to be tested and exercised to ensure that they meet your particular requirements.
Mm-hmm. All right. So if you're listening to this, you're at a company and you're like, we need to be doing this stuff, but I've not heard the boss or the supervisors talk like this, and I'm worried. I'm concerned. What should you do?
Well, as a concerned stakeholder, because as an employee, and that's important. When we say stakeholders, people make assume that stakeholder is an owner or a customer. But as an employee, you are also a stakeholder.
Wow.
Because you're going to be expected to participate in some form or fashion in the response to a hurricane, a fire, a bomb threat, an armed robbery event. And you should ask, how do we know that this stuff works? It's a simple question. I've read the policy, I've read the plan, and it's a good plan. But how do we know it actually works? And that's a vital question, and it's a reasonable question as well to ask your employer, your business partner, the company that you do business with. If I'm coming to a particular, if I'm expecting a deliverable from a service provider, I should ask, hey guys, if there's a hurricane, can you still deliver? The nuts and the bolts? Can you still deliver the water? Can you still deliver the fuel? And where do I fall in that list of priorities? Because if your customers are, let's say, maybe a healthcare facility, me as a bakery, so to speak, I may not fall in the list of high priorities to deliver that fuel. But I have an expectation. So those are reasonable questions. I think too, what is important when people hear testing and exercising There are multiple forms of that. It doesn't mean shutting things down. There are things as simple as tabletop exercises or scenario-based exercises, meaning we sit in a room, we call a meeting, and we sit in a room and we walk through that particular aspect of the plan. So it isn't necessarily, if you understand testing, it doesn't mean, some, surprise exercise. It means, hey, let's focus on how we're going to deliver a particular service, and here's the policies and procedures, and let's walk through that process. So everybody's familiar with what it is. And through reading it, as simple as reading it, individuals, third-party providers may discover, hey, this doesn't make sense. I see you've written that we should do ABC, and really what is required is 1, 2, 3. And those types of analysis of plans help to make it much more efficient, much more practical.
Let's talk some more about that. You're listening and you're like, I don't know how to do this. I can't outside partner to help us with that. This is your time for a shameless plug, I guess. Come out. What can a company like Preventative Measures do to help companies be ready for the hurricane season, truly ready, and test all their procedures?
I'm glad you asked that question, right? What Preventative Measures does, and then an entity like Preventative Measures, what we would do, we would come in, we would ask, hey, let's see your plan. Let's see what you have. And your plan may be something that's in your head. I remember an old police commander telling me, Nuri, the plan is in my head. I got the plan right here. But, the question, of course, well, what happens if you're not here? So we need to write that plan down. And that's the beginning. We help you to write that plan. We help you to look at your resources, write that plan down, walk you through the process, and then we bring in the other participants who would have a bit more insight and different perspectives on how that plan should be executed. After we would have done that, we would ensure that it meets local industry standards, because there may be also some legal requirements. Like I mentioned, there may be legal requirements from a regulator perspective. If you're covered under the central bank or the Securities Commission or the Insurance Commission or even the medical field or whatever agency or organization sort of monitors and supervises your activities, we would make sure that those plans also fall in line with what their requirements are. We would help you to make sure that those plans meet their standards. Also, international standards, for example, if you're looking at a seaport, we talked about this in our session last. If you're looking at a port facility or an airport, where there's a seaport or an airport, as the case may be, there are also international treaties that demand certain actions that or functionalities be in place. So we make sure all that is there, and then we test it. We test it. We exercise it because it's good. It sounds good. But let's say you have a branch in Exuma or a branch in Acklands. The resources that are available in New Providence are not going to be available in Exuma, are not going to be available in Acklands. So you want to make sure that, okay, here's a plan that meets X, ABC Corporation. But ABC Corporation has facilities and manpower, individuals placed throughout the Commonwealth of Bahamas. What's available in one jurisdiction may not meet in one part of the country may not be available in another part of the country. So those are the types of things that we make sure that, hey, what you're saying in New Providence is not going to happen in Andros because Andros does not have those resource availabilities. Mm-hmm. So you may need to shut that Andros location down. That's not a bad thing because now you know there's a plan behind it. It's a scheduled shutdown. So persons who work in that location do not panic because, hey, the plan for this location, because we don't have those resources, is to shut down during the storm. So all of those things we look at and we make it tight, we make it seamless, we reduce the gaps, and that's what we deliver to you.
And for the person saying it sounds like a lot of work and a lot of money, I'm just going to wing it. What would you say to them? How do you address somebody like that?
Winging it is, I'm an old martial artist as well, Dwight, and winging it is not necessarily a bad thing if you have the information and you've assessed the risk. So if it's easier for you to shut down, then that's your choice. But you have to appreciate what am I going to deliver? What are my reputational risk? What are my people risk? What are my resource risk? And I have to, and that's a determination. We can't we cannot, how should I put it? In a business environment that does not require you to do it, then that's your choice. But you have to accept what's going to be the fallout from that. As it pertains to a lot of work, there's not a lot of work, because it's happening. One of the things I tell clients, business continuity, disaster preparedness is a formula. It's a formal approach. However, you've been doing this all day because you open up your business, you start business, you have to operate. And so you're taking those operational practices and you're fine tuning them. So it's not a lot of work because you're already doing it. It's just formalizing it, placing it out on a document and ensuring that during abnormal circumstances, I can still meet these normal requirements or these normal requests. So it's not a lot of work as it may seem because you're already actually practicing it. The question is how well are you doing it? The question is, how efficient are you doing it? And are you compensating for some of the resources that may not be there? What is your compensation for that? So it's not a lot of work. It sounds like that, but it's not because we operate every day. But it's really how efficient am I going to be able to operate when I don't have all the resources available to me?
All right. So, final advice you'd give to people a week away if they haven't tested what they've done in the past and just hoping that everything will hold up. What advice would you give to folks as we're already seeing some weather out there? And what would you say?
That's important. The final advice would be, with events like hurricanes, you have an opportunity, maybe 72, maybe a week in advance, you track that storm. So I would say to you, this is the season. You have to be prepared and do not take it for granted. The forecast for the season is above average. And we have seen in the past what storms on that magnitude, what they can do. So it's not too late. You can reach out to us, Preventative Measures. You can reach out to me, Gamal Nuri, and I'll be definitely glad to assist and walk you through a process to make your programs work.
Okay, and how can people get you? How do they reach out to you?
They can reach me. I'm available on LinkedIn, Gamal Nuri, Gamal Nuri, Newry, or you can reach me at 357-9949. That's perhaps the easiest way to get me. I'm on social media, so feel free to reach out, Preventative Measures or Gamal Nuri, or reach out to me at 357-9949.
Okay, all right, Gamal Nuri, Preventative Measures. It's our Safe and Sound series. We continue with the look at hurricane readiness and business continuity, and we've got a couple more with you, Gamal. Thank you very much, as always. Appreciate it.
No problem, Dwight. Thank you for having me, and continue to enjoy the rest of your day.
You as well. You as well. We're going to break for news and be back. This is Morning Blend on Guardian Radio 96.9. Stay with us.
That day is coming. All else are cast in the air. And I wonder when we are ever gonna change. Living under the fear till nothing else remains. All the children say we don't need another year.
This is Guardian Radio 96.9 FM, Nassau, Bahamas.
This is Guardian Radio, your station for up-to-the-minute news, intelligent, interactive, and engaging conversation. 96.9 FM. The views and opinions of the hosts and guests are their own and do not necessarily reflect the position of the management and staff of Guardian Network.
Wake up, it's a new day. Wake up, it's a new day.
Good morning and welcome to Morning Blend Business on this Thursday, May 25th, 2023. Welcome back to our Morning Blend listeners. Once again, I'm Dwight Strachan. We are scheduled to be talking about 5G and a public education campaign on behalf of IRCA. So we're expecting that. We're just trying to sort out some things. In the meantime, today's Guardian Business section, there's some important stories in there for you to take a look at. The Prime Minister Davis, saying that companies will not pay CIT and business license fees. The Prime Minister stressing that the green paper document they have on corporate taxes is intended to generate feedback, not a white paper. The difference between the green and white paper, which sets out government's proposal for legislative changes, right? Our Paige McCartney writing about this. Prime Minister Philip Davis assuring yesterday that if it is decided that a corporate income tax is to be levied on companies doing business in the Bahamas, those companies paying a corporate income tax would not also pay business license fees. A lot of people were asking about that, and so you know that is what is being considered here, or it's not being considered at least. Davis delivering a communication in Parliament yesterday on the recently released Green Paper, Corporate Income Tax Strategies for the Bahamas. In the days following the release of the consultation document, there's been widespread public discourse on the implications the implementation of a corporate income tax would have on Bahamian companies, especially with opposition leader Michael Pintard calling the various scenarios proposed in the paper half-baked. The Green Paper supposes scenarios where the minimum CIT, corporate income tax rate, of 15% is applied to multinationals earning more than 750 million euros or Pillar 2 firms, while the regular business license fee applies to businesses as usual. So, that's a Green Paper. We're going to have more on this in the coming weeks here on the show. We're going to have some experts on as we allow everyone to have a chance to look at the Green Paper and give their views on it during this consultation period. But that was good because people were wondering, like, what are we going to be taxed to pieces here? But so corporate entities don't need to be concerned if they are paying corporate income tax. About business licenses. All right. So this is also big. Prime Minister Davis, who's also the Minister of Finance, tabled the Consumer Protection Bill yesterday, which, among other things, seeks out to provide greater protection for consumers in their dealings with providers. Now, this is big. We've needed this and some adjustments to this for a long time and been hearing about it for quite a while. The bill will repeal and replace the Consumer Protection Act 2006 and introduce new functions of the Consumer Protection Commission by providing a framework for lodging consumer complaints and investigations and empowering the Commission to protect consumers by setting out the obligation to recall certain goods and establishing voluntary recall protocols. Under the new bill, consumers can make complaints even while outside the Bahamas. And this is the Prime Minister now. He says, quote, "We are expanding the list of who can make a complaint on behalf of the complainant. These changes reflect our commitment to inclusivity and accessibility, ensuring that all business when necessary. In a world that is increasingly digital, we recognize the need to streamline processes and make it easier for consumers to give evidence. To this end, the bill includes provisions to allow for virtual testimony, which will expedite investigations and support convenience for consumers. The proposed legislation also empowers the Consumer Protection Commission to issue advisory notices in situations where harmful practices to consumers are identified. We believe these notices will serve as a valuable tool in preventing harmful business practices and educating consumers about potential risks." It's good stuff. Like the anti-violence bill tabled this as well. I mean, you'd hoped that this would be happening already by now, but hey, if we're going to have to make it write it into the law for people to do what is right, well, then that's what we need to do, right? The bill also establishes certain rights for consumers, including the right to be informed about certain details of goods, including origin and instructions for use and installation. Okay. And to be given a receipt of transaction and to receive refunds in the same manner of payment. So that's big. We've had the Consumer Protection on many, many times talking about that. Instead of store credit, if I paid cash, give me the cash back, right? And some businesses are very much opposed to this and refuse to do this, would rather give you a kidney than give you your money back. So if that's going to be a law now, well, there you go. I hope they're hearing this. They like to play like they don't hear things. But this is certain bad business practices, including misleading or deceptive conduct, harassing or coercing a consumer into purchasing goods or a service, delivering a materially different good than originally contracted, charging a higher price than disclosed to the consumer at the time of purchase, and pyramid and referral selling. The Prime Minister noted, quote, "A significant change under the new bill is the mandatory licensing and registration of providers. Failure to comply will result in penalties, encouraging businesses to operate within the boundaries of law and promoting a culture of accountability. The bill includes stringent provisions against misleading and deceptive conduct, harassment, and coercion. We want to create a marketplace where consumers can engage with confidence and without fear. A critical aspect of the bill is the restriction of pyramid selling and the obligation for businesses to state the full cost of goods or services. These measures will help ensure that consumers are not exploited or deceived." The Prime Minister says that, quote, "The enactment of this bill signals a significant shift in our approach to consumer protection. We're aiming for an inclusive economy where everyone has access to safe, quality goods and services at a fair price. The bill goes beyond enhancing the rights of consumers. It is about improving the lives of Bahamians. It is about ensuring that when a young Bahamian entrepreneur sets up his first business, he does so in a marketplace that values fairness and transparency." Another provision of the bill relates to regulating the terms of the contract between consumers and providers in relation to the restricting of exclusion of liability, goods or services acquired by installment, failure to meet advertised delivery date, reasonableness, and dispute resolution. All right, wonderful sounding stuff. Very encouraging. Think of that, because it really does seem in this country that the consumers are out there in the ocean by themselves, swimming around, paddling, doggy styling, doggy paddling, my goodness. Out there all alone looking for a piece of wood to grab onto. 323-6232, 325-4316, 325-4259, or call us toll free, 242-300-5720, 242-300-5720 to let us know what you make of that. All right, so let's go to the text line, 422-4796. Give us and tell us what you think about this and whether you think it's going to make any difference for consumers here in what has seemed to be a very business-oriented, the actual business as opposed to the consumer. Let's take these calls, 323-6232. 325-4316, 325-4259. All right. Caller, good morning. You're on the air.
Ben?
Good morning.
Good morning.
Yes, you're on the air.
Very thank you for allowing me. I just wanted to see if you can help me with a problem that I find when I go to any most establishments that sell products, right? Number one, they lock you in the store. All right. No matter how big the store is, well known, but this and to get out of the store, in some cases, you only can get out if the security lets you out. Now, if something happens in that store, because for me, when I go to a store, knowing the way Nassau can be, I'm looking for the easiest way that I can get out before I even go in. But when I get in, especially if you go in the store and the store is not, you feel like it can easily be a target.
What?
Now, I can't get out of that store unless the security let me out. I feel trapped. And another thing is, you pay for your goods at the cash register. You have a legal receipt that you paid. And for you to get out the store, the security has to put some mark on the paper receipt that you received. And it's like you feel like you're just being handled like a sheep, and they wouldn't let you out of the store, and they didn't have a right to talk to you bad, and this is the security. So I would like to see that addressed too in the bill.
Before you go, I mean, I understand what you're saying. Yeah, you have to be buzzed out to leave, but do you seriously feel unsafe in the store? That's the forefront of your mind every time.
Yes, just about every time.
That's very unfortunate.
Especially in little stores, where you go, the attendants in the store, they approach you like you could be they expect you to be someone of suspicion of up to no good sometimes.
Well, I mean, it happens, and so the stores are trying to prevent that as well, right? Trying to stop people from stealing and trying to do something horrible and then running away. So
I agree with that, no doubt. But I have. Everyone have rights and should be afforded dignity. I didn't go in the store to steal anything, and so why you handling me as if I am as you suspect me of. I am automatically suspected of being up to no good.
Why? I mean, this is very unusual. I've never thought of it like this before. I hear you. Okay. I mean, it just takes a few seconds before they buzz you out. I mean, it's not that big a problem.
I don't mind the buzzing part, but sometimes they're not. If they're not ready to buzz you out, you have to wait until they buzz you out. I feel sometimes like they want you in the store so to make them feel more secure. I don't want to be. I just feel like I'm being put at risk.
Okay. Well, I mean, thank you for bringing that perspective to the show. I've never ever thought or heard of it before, but that is quite something. I'm sure there are other stores you could choose to shop at if they make you feel like a prisoner. But hey, boy. The writing on the receipt, I'm not sure. I've heard different reasons why people are doing that. In case there is a dispute that, and that you didn't just pick up a receipt somewhere and that you brought that in there and tried to do something, at least they could say, yeah, signature. Maybe. But I'm sure they have their reasons. Doesn't bother me all that much, but I guess, as you all like to tell me, I'm very weird. But okay. But it'll be good to hear. I think some people just do these things because they've seen other people do them. I'm sure somebody has a reason, but that's not widely known. Pretty sure of that. Just like people writing down your driver's license numbers on receipts. Some of these people don't know why they're doing that. The stores don't make them do this. Some do. Some don't. But people think it's a thing to do. But hey, but maybe it will be addressed. Maybe it will be addressed. Let's take this call. Good morning, caller. You're on the air.
Hey, morning, Dwight.
Hi.
Morning. Hey, Dwight, I sympathize with the last call about buzzing out.
Yeah.
But the part to put writing on the receipt, the perception is, Dwight, only these stores over the hill and in the urban areas, they tend to be marking on the receipt. You go to one of the stores like in Old Fort Bay and Harbor Bay, they don't do that.
I don't.
It's just culture.
It's not every time, but I don't think they don't do it. Yeah.
No, they just Dwight in the area where we are. They do.
Okay.
You go Old Fort Bay, they don't mark on the receipt. Okay, it's the perception. The security don't know what you bought anyhow.
Mm-hmm. Well, I've been to one store where they actually look in the bag and looking and counting.
Yes.
I'm like, what is
this?
this?
People in the bag, they don't have they clueless of what you bought.
Okay.
Okay, it's just a perception. Did you pay for it?
Yeah, interesting. Wait, so let's step back. So you say you understand what the previous caller was saying. You get that? You feel like I'm a prisoner. I'm trapped in the store until they buzz me out?
No. That particular one, I'm not. Yeah, I sympathize with them. I don't really feel that way.
Oh, okay.
But the right now.
Okay. All right.
Okay.
Thank you very much. Appreciate it.
All right, buddy.
Let's take another call. Good morning, caller. You're on the air.
Hey, good morning.
Hi. Good morning.
I kind of don't agree with the caller about the feeling trapped in the store. I think it's a safety mechanism that they have, because if someone come in there to do something, it's not easy for them to get out. So just how he's always trying to find the quickest way out, so is the thief or the robber or whoever.
Right.
So I see it like that. And the markings on the receipt, I had an opportunity and I asked, because I was curious about it myself. So I asked the security, why do you have to mark my receipt?
Mm-hmm.
He said, because if I have to bring back one of the items stating that it was stale or old, his receipt would go along with the date of the purchase of that product.
Mm-hmm.
So the easier transition for me to exchange or refund. So that was the question. That was the answer that he gave to me, because I'm a curious person. I like to ask questions. So that was the answer I got.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. No, I'm sure for most there's a reason. There's a reason. Some people don't know why they're doing it, but others, I'm sure. Thank you very much. Appreciate it. All right. So I want to get your reaction again to the what's been proposed. Consumer Protection Commission has been here often and talking about this and the need to adjust this. This act that's been in effect for many years, since 2006. And so some of the things they've been pushing for finally look like they will become law and requirements for businesses. How will businesses react to this? If you're a business person, let us know. If you're going to have to give, you won't be allowed, unless the person wants store credit. If they demand cash back, you're going to have to do it. How do you feel about that? How will that impact you? Let us know what the ramifications are. Maybe there's something that you know that others aren't thinking about. 323-6232. 325-4316. 325-4259. Toll free 242-300-5720. Tweet us, Facebook us, or text us 422-4796. We'll get to your text messages in just a bit. Caller, good morning. You're on the air.
Good morning. How you doing?
Doing well.
I was listening to a gentleman who called earlier about the buzzing in and buzzing out. It's generally not a problem for me, because I understand, why they're doing it, because of security reasons. But I also kind of understand what he's saying also, because I've been in a store too where they buzz you in, and when you're ready to go out, sometimes they take a while to buzz you out, or, you know what I'm saying? So it is kind of like you're trapped in the store. So I guess he's saying if something happens or if there's emergency or whatever, you can't get out of the store because technically you're locked in. You understand what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
So what he says makes sense. But I guess for the general public, they understand why it's being done on the climate in the country. So they kind of say, okay, it's a give and take. And the thing with the receipts and the signing thing, I personally don't have a problem with it. But when I go to the food store, sometimes I let the security sign it. Sometimes if I don't feel like it, I just walk out and show them the receipt. And, they don't stop you and say, hey, you're not going to leave the store unless they sign the receipt. You know what I mean? It's like you just have to say, because of crime and whatever happening, you have to have flexibility, as when you move about.
Mm-hmm.
But can you allow me one favor, if possible?
Sure.
I wanted to call in earlier when you were discussing the other topic, right? But because my daughter was in the car, I didn't want to call. I just want to call because it was a sensitive issue.
Which one
can
are
I
you
just
talking
make a statement of how I feel, or you don't want to pass it altogether?
No, we can do that. We actually got a few text messages that I do want to get back to on that. You're talking about the gender violence and, I guess, marital rape stuff.
Okay, this is how I feel about it, right?
Mm-hmm.
As a man growing up in the Bahamas, it baffles me because even as a young man, as I get older, I never in my wildest dreams thought about forcing myself on anyone or forcing anyone to do something against their will. It never even crossed my mind. So when this debate came about marital rape, and I'm like, wow, it's a no-brainer. Everyone should be against rape. But to hear pastors coming out and saying that men should be rape their wives, I'm like...
Well, they didn't say it like that. But
that's what they're saying.
Basically.
Yes, I mean, we don't have to sugarcoat it. That's what they're basically saying. If you're saying you're against a law that would make raping your wife illegal, whatever, you're basically saying, I am agreeing with men raping their wives. And it's baffling to me because rape isn't... If you ask anybody, they will say rape is wrong. Point blank. But when you ask them, what if you're married? Oh, well, that's a different story. Well, it's not a different story. No is no. And what is most disappointing to me isn't the men, I expect men to be men. It's women. I talk to some women, and they say, oh, if you don't want to get raped, don't get married. Or I'm like, what the hell are you talking about?
Oh, boy.
I'm like, you're a woman, right? Women should look out for each other. We don't live in a simplistic world where everything is black and white. Sometimes persons go into relationships with the greatest of intention. People change, things change, situations change. We're not talking about ideal, loving, Christian, you know what I'm saying? Respectful marriages. Persons right now are in destructive, toxic relationships. And these people need the authorities if they need help. You see what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
And it's very disappointing to me. I'm speaking out more. It's like, it's not even about marital rape. It's about basic human rights. You have the right not to be forced to have sex. That's a basic human right. So, and this is why it just baffles me why this is such a big issue in our country.
Yeah.
It's so simple.
Yeah, it is baffling is a good word.
But why would you even want to rape or force yourself on somebody? I don't get it.
Thank you very much. Appreciate it.
Thanks for letting me vent a little bit, right? But it just bothers me when I hear persons trying to defend foolishness, man.
Yeah.
All right, thank you, okay?
No problem at all.
All right.
Like I said, we got more messages early in the show. We didn't get to those. We're going to read those in a few minutes. Just wanted to get into this consumer protection bill and business, but I know that's going to take over the show now that we've reintroduced that. But let me get your text message before we probably will move on. This person says here, your caller, the previous caller, I guess the first caller, has probably not been to the to Walmart in the States. They ask for your receipts there too, and sometimes they can be very rude. This person says that's untrue. Solomon, a store in a fancy neighborhood has a practice of making but they sign the receipts. It has nothing to do with urban areas. Yeah, I don't agree with that. I've seen it everywhere, and sometimes it just depends on the mood of the security guard. Sometimes they say, "Chief, you're straight," and they don't ask. They put up their hand that I don't have to sign it. I'm like, okay, and then sometimes they're looking. So I'm not sure what that's about, but it doesn't seem to really matter where you are, how people are feeling. This one says here, if you look like a thief, you're a thief to some of these store owners. If you are in a shop for them to mark on your receipt, once again, if you look like a thief, you're a thief. I don't know what that means, but sure. Why don't they have the VAT inclusive price on all items? You make your choice based on the price to find it's $30, and then I guess VAT is added to the cashier. When that happens, I leave it right there. It's very annoying. Yeah, some stores do and some stores don't, and that was initially supposed to be a requirement, right? When we introduced VAT, that you were supposed to have the VAT inclusive price listed. And I know a lot of the fast food restaurants spent a good deal amount of money, right? Putting up fancy electronic signs with the prices, only for VAT to go up and then go back down. And so VAT is changing every few years. And I'm sure they're like, this doesn't make sense. And of course, then you add inflation, so they don't want to keep everything. Nobody wants a permanent sign anymore. So as VAT could change every year. But it is annoying. I agree with you. It is annoying. This person says here, back to that. Okay, so I suspect now all the rest of the messages will be about marital rape. This one here, we racially profile people here. That's why they don't let people who look suspicious into the store. They buzz you in. I don't know if it's racially profiling. It's just probably how you're dressed. If you look nervous, sweaty, wearing tan jackets in July and a hoodie, people are a little nervous. It doesn't matter. I don't think it matters what color you are. Just like, why are you weird? It is 99 degrees. Caller, good morning. You're on the air.
Yes, good morning, Dwight.
Hi.
Alan Johnson. I was hoping for the 5G conversation.
Yes, me too. We're getting word that it has to be postponed for a little bit.
Okay, that's
unfortunately.
fine. One of the things I want people to know, I really want to hear their explanation, because I know we somehow think 5G is about cellular service. And I think that's like cellular is like on the list, I think like 98 on the list of what 5G is about. And and it's an absolute necessity in the Bahamas, right? We keep talking about cellular. So I wanted to hear their perspectives on it going forward.
Yeah, hopefully it won't be too long. Hopefully in a week or so.
Okay, just let me say to the gentleman about marital rape. A person cannot be raped in a marriage, but they can be raped while married. That's the message that the pastors has been trying to put out. The problem is they have a secondary bias. They take the position that if you allow like no fault divorce or immediate what they call a separation, that you would be breaking up a marriage. But for me, if you have a marriage, then there's no need for you to go get a no fault divorce or a legal separation. Now, if you want to give the right to get immediate legal separation, which then severs the tie of being married, in a sense, until you get a divorce, meaning that if you touch this woman, you will be charged with rape. That's the simplest aspect of it, and that's what most countries do. We are somehow complicating the matter. So I say to pastors this often, if I have a legal separation, the key word there is I'm not divorced. So if reconciliation can occur, you can still have access to it. It no longer exists. Marriage is a harmonious type of environment. Being married is something else. And so if the government would update, I think one time you did a show where the laws were over 100 years old in regards to marriage.
Right.
You can't go get a no-fault divorce. You cannot go get an immediate legal separation, which then technically legally severs the relationship that this person don't have a right to you, your body, if you want to use the religious aspect of it. And so I don't know why we're having this debate for years when we just have to do is go update our laws. I've heard the women activist says, oh, but if we do that, she will have nowhere to go. And I'm saying, what? So you're in a situation that threatens your life, your health, your whatever, and you're saying that, well, I need a rape law so I could stay in the house with him.
Yeah, well, I don't think that's a widespread view by the
No, I'm just giving you
But yes, we've heard some weird excuses when that is
and so I'm
mentioned.
simply saying is, just let's update the marriage laws.
Yeah, that has to happen at the same time.
But they didn't bring it. But I'm saying why they didn't bring this into Parliament, so they could still update the marriage laws now.
Yes,
which would then give effect to the word rape on its own.
We've made this unnecessarily complicated.
Yes, but this is one other thing, Dwight. This thing when you talk about the consumer protection. Did you watch the news, Dwight? The other station where the Consumer Protection Agency goes out with a bunch of pads and pencils and stuff, writing down price for everything concerning the hurricane supply so they could go back and check. When Dwight, again, to be in the 21st century, do you know every person in this country could actually report to a Consumer Protection Agency without the Consumer Protection Agency ever leaving? I mean, I have other ways, right? An app. They could use WhatsApp. If they just type, if I'm in the hardware store, I just send them a copy of the prices. Say, when the prices of what you have, bread, this, whatever. When you in the hardware store, send us the lumber, this, whatever. And then they would have a whole timeline for multiple people from multiple stores, rather than running around with pencil and paper. And this is where the problem is. The Consumer Protection Bill is good, but it's the processes and procedures that individuals will have to go through for the multiple variances of consumer protection, because there's no one consumer protection agency in other developed countries. And so the good question is, I didn't see the debate as to be like, again, another good intent, but exactly how will this work again?
Well, we'll get more. That was just the tabling of the bill. I'm sure there's going to be more on this. And remember now, not everything falls under the purview of consumer protection. Other agencies like Standards Bureau, IRCA, who were supposed to be with us today. And so it's not all on them, but you're making some great points there, Seattle. Thank you very much. Appreciate it. All right, let's read some messages before we... can we find out if that caller wants to talk about consumer protection or if it's marital rape? Because if it's marital rape, then I'm going to let that wait till after the break. If you could find out for me, producer. But let me read these messages. This person says here, it's amazing how they can let you write whatever you want on it. Let's see some action. What? I'm missing something. You mean the security guards? What? I'm confused. All right. This person says there, buzz me in your store for security reasons, but why in the world would you want to have the option to keep the criminal in the store with you? Well, I mean, I hear you. Some of these stores have like a protective glass. Can you find out if that caller wants to talk, what he wants to talk about? Some of they have the glass, the plexiglass, the security glass, right? Where they'd be okay, but you'd be trapped there until the police get there, no? I don't know if that's common here. Some places do. Yeah, like some of the service stations, sure. So you can't go anywhere until the police come. But if, like the caller was saying, if he's a customer in there along with that criminal, I mean, next thing you know, there's a hostage situation. And I get it. Never thought about it like that, but I do get it. Yeah, okay. This person says here, the signing of receipts protects the store from cashiers as well. Cashiers don't always ring up all sales. Oh, well, there we go. Okay, that's interesting. This one says here the process of checking receipts at the door is meant to keep the cashiers honest. So there we go, 2 of them coming in because they have the ability to change prices and or pretend to scan items. Yep. Okay. This is not about marital rape, right? This is about consumer, because we'll take the marital rape calls after the break. Yeah. So let's go to the break, and then we'll pick up. Caller, just hold on. We'll be back in just a moment. This is Morning Blend Business on Guardian Radio 96.9. We'll be back in a moment. Stay with us.
When I was a little girl, I had a rag doll, only doll I've ever owned. Now I love you just the way I love that rag doll, but only now my love has grown, and it gets stronger in every way, and it gets deeper. Let me say that it gets higher day by day. And do I love you, my oh my? Yeah, river deep, mountain high, yeah. If I lost you, would I cry?
After a hurricane or storm, get the Nassau Guardian's Hurricane Guide. The guide will tell you where to purchase building and cleaning supplies, waste disposal, medical care, which auto shop to go to after driving through flooded streets, and much more. The Nassau Guardian's Hurricane Guide will help to make sure everyone knows what to do in the event a hurricane approaches and after it departs. Take advantage of this double insertion opportunity plus 15 radio commercials. Contact us today, 302-2300. Call your account executive. Will you be prepared?
Earning zero interest on your savings at the bank? With as little as $100, you can start earning interest on your money while you're sleeping, eating, or standing in line at the bank with the CFAL Savings Express Plan. Ready to invest? Start by putting $1,000 into our mutual funds and earn interest there too. Because at CFAL, your interest is our interest. Visit CFAL.com to start now. CFAL, growing wealth for future generations of Bahamians.
Almost there.
Sarge, that's you.
Well, who else?
Tell the truth. I thought a beige walrus was dying on the sidewalk.
I'm preparing for my 4x100-meter debut.
More like 1 by 1, because the other 99 killing you.
Funny, the Bahamas games come in July 7th to July 15th, and Grand Bahama gotta win this.
Well, you know that.
Email info@thebahamasgames.org or call 322-1029 for more information.
Which island is gonna win? The road to 50 Jubilee celebration continues with the 50th on Bay Street Festival. Bahamian culture comes alive on Monday, May 29th from 2 p.m. until. Come out, bring the whole family to enjoy live music, food, drinks, cooking demos by local celebrity chefs, art, crafts, a kiddies corner, and so much more. It's Bahamian culture at its finest. The 50th on Bay Street Festival, this Whit Monday, May 29th. Bring the whole family. Admissions free.
At Doctors Hospital, our lamp just got brighter. The Loyalty Advantage membership program now has 3 unique plans to choose from. From Lamp Prepaid with free prime care visits and service line discounts, Lamp Insured with copay waivers and 0 upfront collections at the ER and inpatient services, or our new Lamp Access, a free plan that offers pension. Lamp has a plan for everyone. To sign up, visit our website or give us a call. Doctors Hospital, trusted and best care now.
Tired of paying too many bills and loan payments each month?
Shrink your monthly debt payments down to one easy payment with our debt consolidation loan.
It also has a built-in savings that pays you 5% interest.
Inquire about our debt consolidation loans today.
Call 356-7764.
This is Guardian Radio 96.9 FM. Fresh news, smart talk, all day.
reflections on the water, more than darkness in the depths. See him surface in every shadow. On the wind I feel his breath. Golden eye, I found his weakness. Golden eye, he'll do what I please. Golden eye, no time for sweetness, but a bitter kiss will bring him to his knees. You'll never know how I watched you from the shadows as a child.
We're back here with Morning Blend. Morning Blend this morning, remembering Tina Turner all morning long. Let's go to the phone lines. Good morning, caller. You're on the air.
Hey, good morning, Dwight.
Hi, good morning.
And good morning to your listeners. As it relates to the consumer, I just want to make 2 points, one on the consumer and one on the marital rape situation. As it relates to the consumers, I'm happy to know that consumers are now, more aware of what is going on as far as pricing are concerned in these stores. And I'm also happy to know that because of the technological world we live in, where people could spread information and even heighten more people awareness of it. But I'm hoping that persons like them who price gouge or in some cases knowingly put up prices, I hope that they face the full brunt of the law, because things are hard in this country and people really are trying to struggle to survive. Now, having said that, as it relates briefly to this marital rape situation, I was one of those who, from the beginning, I was wondering if this was just a campaign that was being pushed upon us from international bodies, and whether or not there is data, statistical data, or, that can say so much of married women are being abused. Now, I know you may say it doesn't matter the number, but a campaign has to start from something. If something isn't right, then people, they make noise about it.
I mean, it's
based on what the commissioner said,
it's strange that
Yeah,
only married women cannot be raped by their husbands. Everybody else, but married women, you can't. No,
but like the gentleman said, right? He said he's mind-boggling too. But women, we grew up under these Christian practices and principles for years, and women understand what marriage it means to them as far as the sanctity of marriage and what Christ Himself ordained. And then women, they understand that they don't want to stray away from that. Remember, Dwight.
What does it mean? What does it mean?
What I'm saying is that when he made the statement of how women feel, women have a way out of these crises.
Yeah, but
and we know that. Pardon me?
That's after the fact, after you've been abused, after you've had to deal with something horrible.
Yeah, but right now, I'm not condoning no one to say forcefully put themselves on nobody. But I'm saying if you really and truly grew up on Christian principles and you really believe in that, it's going to be hard for you even as a
to
woman
rape your wife,
to
right? It'll be, if you grow up as a Christian, it'll be very hard for you to rape someone, including your wife, right? That's what you're going to say now, right?
Yeah, I buy that too. It will be hard for me to rape anybody, including my wife. But the fact is, in a matrimonial home, I cannot rape my wife. We have an agreement. We have a contract that is signed and is ordained and sanctified by God. So how can I rape her if she's a part of me?
Because she said she didn't want to do it.
No, but right
she
now,
said she didn't want to do it. That doesn't mean
relationship.
anything. She said she didn't want to. That means what? That means woman,
means
shut
that
up
she didn't
and.
want to. But if we engage in it, it's like a conversation you have.
And she said,
no.
no.
A strange relationship. If it's an estranged relationship where you and this person by law was said to be separated,
Okay,
and you
we're
believe
not talking
you
about
can
that.
go to this woman's house anytime and abuse her, I buy that. I will understand that. But not in marriage where somebody has a misunderstanding for whatever reason that it could constitute marital rape. I really don't agree with that.
So you don't think there are people out there who would not hear their wife say, "No, I'm not doing that tonight. Leave me alone." And you don't believe there are people who would say, "I don't care what you're saying. Use my wife, and you're gonna take it." You don't believe that's happening?
Right. It's not like that.
How do you know? There are people who tell you that it is like that. It is like that, and that is happening to people. Well, why do you feel it's hard? So what do you? Now that I'm telling you it is like that, what are you going to do? Do you like?
Then it tells me that marriage should not. That you have to now take a different avenue and the fact of by way of divorce or trying to get rid of that, because at the end of the day, you cannot use a few people. Examples of what they went through, try to put that on the whole nation.
Who's putting that on the whole nation? Who's putting that on the whole nation?
If you pass a law...
But you're not doing it. What does it matter to you? You don't do it. So it doesn't, is not it, right? But there are people who do. That's how laws work. It's not for everybody.
But we know that the devil is busy in trying to destroy the nuclear family as we know it. We know that. Because all of these eons and eons, these years, nobody never came up with these kind of things.
That's okay.
How you could rape your wife or your wife could rape a husband?
Indeed.
That is why.
Indeed, sir.
Agree with it.
Yes. No, but we're not saying the same things.
I mean, that's my perspective. That's my take on it, Dwight.
Okay. Thank you very much. Thank you very much. How many people out there are going to say that they are into bestiality? And how many are going to have been charged with bestiality? There's not going to be that many people. But does that mean we need to remove bestiality for being against the law? Nah? What are these arguments? This makes no sense. Oh, it's only 2 people, so we don't need a law for that. Okay. I don't understand why this is so hard. See, either you all are resisting this so much because many of you have been in these situations and have heard your wives tell you, no, and you still went through. And so you're like, well, Jesus, obviously, if I upset her, she could say I raped her. Obviously, this was going on here. Because if you don't do this, then what's the issue? You don't believe that jerks, they're creeps, there's psychopaths out there doing stupidness like this to their wives? You really don't believe that? Or vice versa, women doing this to their husbands. You don't believe that? I'm sure you do. Because some of these men go outside the marriage and rape people. So you don't think that person is capable of doing this? All right, this is a text. I want to call this person who texted us, and hopefully, earlier somebody said, bring on the women who were raped by their husbands, because, sure. That sounds reasonable to you, right? But anyway, this person said, I was raped by my husband. Even if you get legally separated, the men still think they have the right to the wives' bodies, and police don't care. They never took any of my reports seriously. Sometimes you can move out because you both, you can't move out because you both put money in a home. But then he might turn to psycho. I'm editing a little bit there, but okay. Well, I hope you would not mind if I call you texter. But I'd understand if you don't want to talk. I would. This person says here, I believe on top of this bill, the Attorney General or the Minister for Legal Affairs should table a bill for irreconcilable differences. As we know, a lot of the continued abuse stems from how difficult it is to get divorced. Yes, we've said that many times. I don't understand why that is not being considered. Because if you are in a sexless marriage and you're like losing your mind before you do something stupid, file for divorce. You've got irreconcilable differences. You don't have to prove adultery or any other crazy things. Just say, this isn't working and I need to get out of this. Why are we forcing people to stay in these horrible marriages? You're looking for trouble. We've had trouble. We've got the trouble because of this nonsense. This doesn't make sense. Anyway, another person here, Dwight, this obviously titillating subject of marital rape makes me sick. Everyone lies, just like everybody says they're Christian. But watch out. There are many more abused women in marriage than those who will lie on the man. Oh, that is the truth. Our courts can decipher lies from truth, so let's criminalize forceful spousal abuse in sex or marital rape. Great text. Thank you very much. They don't want to talk about that. Maybe we should have, as the caller said, instead of finding those wives who were raped, talk to the ones being abused currently who are too afraid to move. Let's take these calls very quickly. This is probably going to cause me to have a seizure on air, but good morning, caller. You're on the air.
Good morning. Is that me?
Yes, it is. Good morning.
Morning. Listen, on the issue of marital rape, I think culturally in our country, when a couple have some differences, whatever it is, usually after intimacy, they resolve their differences and they're able to go on. And a lot of men, knowing how women are, to them it's not raping because oftentimes after you'd have intimacy, life goes on and you're able to resolve a lot of differences. And so some men, when they, I guess the partner might think it's being coercion the person so that they can, one of the reasons culturally that decent Bahamian men, husbands, to them they're not forcing. But Dwight, to all of the saga in marital rape, we can go ahead and criminalize marital rape, but then we can take adultery out of the matrimonial causes.
Why don't you all stop? Seriously?
Yes.
It would be easier to add irreconcilable differences, right? It would be easier. Why would you have to go that bizarre route?
But why is it bizarre? Because if...
I mean, you want to justify, she wasn't giving it to me, so I had to go and cheat. That's what you're trying to do. Go do what you want to do. Do what you want to do. But there's no reason.
Let us remove the emotion from it.
No. Who was adding a lot of stuff like what you said just now? That's highly. I'm telling you now, you don't see it, but it was highly offensive to a lot of people. It's one thing to seduce and to seduce your spouse, even though there's some resistance and maybe you're doing some role play, but that's very different from rape. From forcing, and we're not playing around. I wasn't being difficult. I wasn't trying to, play around and be cute. No, you actually you did something horrible to me, and then you expected this, and I told you no. It's very different. It's very different, and that is happening. It is probably not happening a lot, but it is happening.
But here's what I'm saying: if that is in fact the case, so then, is it more palatable? First of all, sweethearting is part of the culture in countries, not only Bahamas. Most island countries, sweethearting is part of the culture.
I mean, it's a human trait. It's everywhere.
Okay.
The whole world. Mm-hmm.
And so, sweethearting is the same as adultery. Socially, it's sweethearting. In law, it's adultery. And so, if sweethearting is already prevalent, if adultery is already prevalent, what is wrong with harmonizing human nature? If the one spouse says, I was raped, and oftentimes it's over simple matters. It's an emotive thing. And maybe you should do a program on removing adultery from matrimonial causes and criminalize marital rape and see how it works. But give it a shot and let's see how it goes. Thank you for taking my call.
All right, thank you very much. Oh, boy, y'all are very, very interesting people. So, if you do that, you're one step away from allowing polygamy, right? You say, I need a wife because this one, I need two wives because this one on Mondays don't want to play. And so I need a different one for that day. And so let's make that the law if marital rape is going to be a thing. Beautiful. Hey, that's Morning Blend Business. And Morning Blend for this Thursday morning. Morning Blend Business brought to you in part by CFAL. Growing wealth for future Bahamians. We'll be on location tomorrow morning, live from the new Nassau Cruise Port. It's going to be amazing. The opening is tomorrow, and we have a special show for you. So tune in for that. And I'll be there, and have a great day, everybody. I'm going to head out to a place for an adult drink after this program. Stay tuned for On the Clock with Aaron Green coming up next.
I can't stand the rain against my window, bringing back sweet memories. I can't stand the rain against my window, 'cause he ain't here with me. Hey, window pane, tell me, do you remember